Hello, everyone, and welcome to Perilous Paths here on GDQ Hotfix. We have an absolutely packed show, so I'm going to keep the introductions pretty short. But what you need to know is today is Deals with the Devil Day, or Faustian bargains, unholy contracts, however you want to phrase it. We're going to have plenty of those. So first, we're going to start with Hell of an Office, where you literally work for the devil, followed by Dicey Dungeons, where you are making a deal with a devil-like figure for some form of wish or power. And then last, and certainly not least, Death's Door, which I won't spoil the plot, has a little bit of that in it too. So without further ado, I want to just go ahead and get into it. So let's bring in King J, who's going to be running Hell of an Office, and his commentary team of CMM and Illegally Sam. How are you guys doing today?
I am doing great, thank you. Hi, everybody. My name's King J0444. This is Hell of an Office. This is a game that recently came out. It was in early access for a while, but now it's officially released, and it is very underappreciated. It flew under everybody's radar, and it's a really sick and very difficult first-person platformer and speedrun-based game. So we're showing off any percent today, and would my two commentators like to introduce themselves?
Sure. Hi, I'm CMM. You can call me Clay. I'm one hell of a commentator. It begins.
It begins.
I'm Illegally Sam. I work in an office.
That's crazy. Okay, cool.
AKA hell.
So really, yeah, so really quick, I'm gonna show off that there are different skins that we can use in this game. I'm gonna go with my the one I'm known for, my staple one, you could say, which is the banana stapler. But there's also other ones too, like the demon stapler and stuff like that. This is just cosmetic, so it doesn't matter what we use. But you can pick whichever one you want. I also sometimes use a unicorn, but I'm going to use the banana because it's funny. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started though. There's 100 levels in this game with 10 chapters, and yeah, let's get started in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, best of luck.
All right, so I don't know how much I'm going to be talking during this game. This game is very fast. You'll see that pretty soon. But starting off, we have the prologue here. There's going to be these sections where we're walking around and talking to people in between some levels. And we get to the text matching, where I have to mash in kind of like a weird rhythm, both left click and space. And you guys are going to hear that loud and proud, so I apologize.
It's part of the Hell of an Office experience, hearing people clicking away on a keyboard.
Or angrily clicking away on a keyboard, depending on your office environment.
So the only thing you really need to know for the lore is we just signed away our soul to the devil unknowingly, and now we work an office job for him, and our goal is to take him over, defeat him, and get our soul back.
This is why you read the fine print, by the way.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so starting off is our first intermission, or our first introduction to a chapter. Each chapter is going to start with one of these sections where we're walking around and talking to people and doing things that we're set to do. We're going to grab our stapler there. And there's later on going to be one in the middle of each chapter. Chapter 1 has 3 in different spots instead, just to get you used to it. All right, so now we actually start the gameplay.
You can tell it starts because we have the banana ready.
And it's hell. And it's hell.
So right now the game's a little slow, right? We can dash and stuff like that, but we're going to get going really quick, really fast. Right here we're going to use this vending machine. Oh, if I can do it, come on. Okay, there we go. All right, second try is good, thank God. That's a hard trick, all right. Okay, so that was kind of the introduction. You can see, like, this game's kind of like a mix of, like, neon white with kind of the aesthetic of Doom. That's what I like to say, at least. So now we're actually going to go ahead and get staples for our stapler, and this is where the game's really going to speed up, and I'm going to be speaking a lot less. So I will let Steve and Clay take it away, because you're going to see really quick how fast we're going. I just said Steve. Sorry, my bad. Yeah. Clay and Stan. I saw Steve in chat earlier, one of my friends. I'm sorry.
The hell of a mistake.
Yeah.
This is rocket jumping with stapler. That's the run summed up pretty quickly.
If you've never worked in an office, this is typically how the commute goes.
You can also see that we're skipping a lot of levels by using our stapler, and we're going much faster than the intended path.
Yeah, the standard path is there, but you can also basically rocket jump off of anything in the geometry, so, you know, all that background fun stuff is useful sometimes.
Yeah, a lot of this game is going to turn into, oh, what in the background can we jump off of?
Yeah, this is Exhibit A of why giving everything collision is both a good and bad idea.
Yeah, very true. So right here we have our, again, I like to call these intermission stages, where we have to go ahead and introduce ourselves to our co-workers. That's Mr. Stapley, our supervisor. You're going to see him a lot throughout the game. Yeah. And he's kind of like the secondary antagonist.
Yeah, you might even see him at the end of every single level.
That's true.
I really hate icebreakers, and that's what he's having you do.
And back to this. Back to the cool gameplay.
Back to this.
But yeah, this level, this is the first level. They're just gonna keep throwing like new mechanics at us and stuff like that, and like new things for us to do and harder challenges. But this one's just about us chaining our momentum together and stuff like that, and getting the hang of the controls.
Now, I think you mentioned that if you dash and shoot at basically the same time, you kind of get a lot of propulsion, and that's kind of key to a lot of the stuff here.
Yeah, that's how we get a lot faster. This game has a huge IL scene, by the way. At the end, you're seeing on the right-hand side here, you're seeing the IL leaderboards, and there's hundreds and hundreds of people who just grind out the same level and stuff like that. There's only 3 people in the world right now who run any percent, and I am the second fastest. The person who has world record is named Chewbacca, and he's actually just crazy at the game. Like he's
one hell of a runner.
Yeah, he's one hell of a runner. He literally just does IL strats that like me and the other person who runs any percent, Zan, just can't do because they're way too insane to go for in RTA.
Yeah, someone in chat said this is how you get out of hell, but we're actually kind of diving deeper into hell, I think. Or actually, I don't know, we are rising, right? We're taking the elevator up most of the time. So
sometimes I think it's one time we go down the elevator.
That's that one time.
All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed skipping basically the entire level, because that's what we're going to do again here. We're going to go ahead and go up this pillar.
I call this the ashtray world.
It kind of
It's
is.
just cigarettes and Zippo lighters. Is this highlighter skip? No, not yet.
Nah, that's level 17.
That's later. That's later.
Okay. Yeah, basically every world in this game has a different aesthetic with different giant objects. Some of which you'll see around an office, some of them not so much.
This level, I actually found this skip for, or this variation of the skip. There we go.
One hell of an ashtray.
This is like one of the more boring levels where we actually just have to run through it normally. There is a crazier strat that top ILs go for, but again, it's just not safe to do in RTA. At least
Yeah,
for
so
me.
your first quote-unquote upgrade, I guess, because you do get upgrades in between worlds in this game, lets you shoot the staples through, I guess that's supposed to be paper.
Yeah.
So
Also,
when you see it blowing holes through it, yeah.
This game loves making fun of pop culture, so here's Closeheimer.
Amazing.
And instead of Oppenheimer, and he's going to tell us to go find someone who hates platypuses. So we're going to go talk to Duke here.
And
Dr.
who would hate
Schwartz.
platypuses?
True.
I'm
Harry the
pretty sure Duke.
platypus. Also, I just like how he says, let your intrusive thoughts in to cause a diversion, and we did that. We just hit the emergency button.
I love How to Start a Cult for Dummies.
Yeah, it's a great book right there.
Great book.
So we're going to go ahead and upgrade our stapler even more. I don't know why it has us do this, because it's literally going to give us the same upgrade we just already had, but okay.
Nice.
And here's Mr. Safely hiding behind the very conveniently shaped cardboard there. All right, nice. That's what I call the text mashing check to see if you're good at text mashing or not, is that section. All right,
Luckily,
and
you know
back
how to text
craziness. That is true. And back to craziness. Yeah, there you go.
Marlboro skip? No.
Marlboro skip.
Marlboro
experience.
skip.
Okay,
Camel
I
skip?
didn't get the dash there, but it's fine. I can save this. There's always a way to save yourself in this game.
You know,
That's a good
you
thing.
you blow holes through paper in this game, but you can just launch off the
Oh,
printer
that
paper.
sucks. Okay, that's a little annoying. That death was not the greatest.
Yeah, but you did get to see the death screen ever so briefly there.
Yeah,
where you
most
get
times you
fired.
won't see it. Yeah,
You are fired.
most times you won't see that because, oh my god, come on, this is not a hard level. Most times you won't see that because you can retry any level before you die.
We do like
Okay.
a good retry button because not every game is as generous with that.
There we go. That was
Yeah.
not a hard level. Alright, here's highlighter skip.
Oh, highlighter skip.
Say hi to the lighter
Yeah.
Rip.
as we skip it.
I call it highlighter skip because when you're climbing up it, it doesn't look like a lighter. It just looks like a pink
Very-
highlighter.
Very tall for a lighter.
Yeah. There's printer skip.
Printers.
Most skips in this game, I just call them whatever I'm climbing up.
Yeah,
So,
they're all really badly named.
to be fair, I
printer-
don't think anybody has a name for them. I'm the only one who's actually been naming them. So,
So good, you made one hell of a bad name.
yep. And
But-
this is one hell of a joke that we're going to be
yeah,
continuing.
it's the only joke.
I hope you're not tired of it yet because it will not be going away.
The
Yes. We're going to be making this joke for 40 minutes, so
the
get ready.
printers definitely belong in hell, though. That I agree with wholeheartedly.
All right, and that's chapter 2.
And you also
So-
notice at the end of each level, we do get a score with a medal based on
Oh,
how
yeah.
fast you actually get through. So see if you can pick out how many diamonds King J gets throughout the run and how many times he gets something that's slightly less fast than a diamond.
Yeah, sometimes we get gold, and the reason why is the timer doesn't start until you leave the starting platform. So it's faster to, in IL, to like walk to the end of the starting platform and then start doing your fast movement. But because that's slower for RTA, we don't do that. Oh, can I? I didn't get the text. That was weird. All right, we're fine. We're gonna gamble here.
Poker Night 2 looks a little different.
Yeah, we're playing some Balatro.
Shout out to HDQ, where I actually went gambling for my first time.
Yo. And you
to
didn't
casino.
completely lose.
And I literally went left like I think like 200% of what I put in. So
Let's go. The only time I ever
right here we have to go ahead and stop this party from happening. So we're kind of a buzzkill.
The only time I ever had good luck in gambling, the Judge Judy slot machine took it away from me.
Judge Judy
And,
slot
and for anyone
machine.
who's curious, all that slot machine does is yell at you and take your money. So
That's awesome.
kind of amazing.
It's one hell of a
so here
slot
we-
machine.
Here
It
we have
is.
chapter 3, and this is what Clay likes to call the Sonic rings.
Oh yeah, this game becomes Sonic the more and more you go through it. So these are dash rings.
And this has some really cool skips in it in this chapter. Oh, whoops. Okay. That's fine.
You can make it work.
Again, I'd say oops, that's bad, but like anytime I say that, I'm losing like a second. This game is very optimized.
Yeah. If you don't know how fast these levels can go, he'll say oops and you just think he's going through the level normally and it's like, what went
Yeah.
wrong?
Oh, whoops. Where's my dash? Where's my... Thank you.
There you
Give me
go.
my dash. You can tell if I have a dash, by the way, to use, because below the reticle in the middle, it'll have a second line underneath if I can still dash.
Also, if you didn't
The-
notice, the reticle is a staple.
Yeah, the staple shaped reticule.
Here's a cool skip here to this little wind tunnel over here.
Yeah, big fan of that one.
Yeah,
Big fan.
big fan. It's a hell of a breeze.
All right, so now we're gonna talk to this guy, and he's gonna tell us that there's a line of people who are going down, and there's a little bit of a destruction. So we're gonna help this guy, give him a push. There we go. And there we go.
Yeah, I think he got terminated.
Yeah, I think so too.
I was
I
just
don't know
going to
what
say,
gives me that thought.
he gave us some encouragement, like pushed him towards what he wanted to do.
True, he definitely wanted to do that. He definitely wasn't crying.
He's fine.
Tears of joy.
It's one hell of a tears.
No.
No, that one didn't work.
That one
The
did
one
not
time
work.
that I do one, and it's not a good one.
Leave
right,
the
and now
bad jokes to
back
us.
to-
We
back to
make good
Cookie
bad
Skins.
jokes.
It's so funny going like to those intermission areas, and then you go back to the gameplay, and it's just like such a drastic change again.
It gives you a little bit of a breather.
Yeah, it's like in the real office. It's the actual day-to-day work, and then what's going on in your head as you don't do your work.
True. Your procrastination technique?
As someone who's never worked in an office, yeah, I agree.
I've worked in a virtual office.
Good enough.
I work in an office 3 days a week.
Oh,
So-
okay, gotcha.
When I said in my intro I work in an office, I was not lying.
So you go to hell 3 times a week. Got it.
Yeah, exactly.
No comment.
All right, and this is the last level of this chapter. By the way, doing those dashes, like we said, like if you dash and shoot on the same time, you do get your dash back. I like to kind of equate it to Celeste, where you get your dash back if you do it a certain way.
Toxic conferences. Oh, those are my favorite.
Those
You
are
know
all
what-
of them.
That's the most redundant title ever.
Yeah.
So
You
this
know-
is what I like to call like another mash check. This is the most text matching we have to do in one of these sections, mainly because of 2 people. First is Mr. Stapley later on, and then there's this door guy right here.
Yeah, the Monsters Inc. area.
And it's always the same door, though. And then this is the most text mashing in one text box we have to do. Hopefully I can do it pretty well.
It's not a presentation without word art.
Nice. Okay, that was really quick. Shouts to Among Us. The jokes write themselves there. Clay loves that joke.
One hell of a reference, Joey.
Thank you, thank you. Alright, cool. That's like one of my least favorite parts of the run is that office section.
Now we're back
Alright.
to it. You know, it's great that we don't get stuck in this elevator like I got stuck in a certain elevator at a certain speedrunning event a month ago for 15 minutes.
I forgot about that.
Or rather, they were stuck with me in the elevator, which
That's
is
crazy.
even more terrifying.
I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me.
Yeah.
Also,
Only
we're
if
not
you brought a
talking-
stapler with you.
Yeah.
True. Also, this level, so I'm streaming this, I'm at a very low quality, like the lowest quality that GDQ will allow me to, and the reason why is because for some reason on my computer hates this level. If I stream this game at more than 60 FPS, then my computer absolutely destroys itself during this level.
Yo, nice pencil skip.
Thank you, that pencil skip's really cool.
Also, you may have noticed in the high score leaderboards, we did have a level where we beat Microsoft Excel. And Microsoft Excel definitely belongs in hell, along with the rest of the Office suite.
What, are you more of a Google Sheets fan or just no spreadsheets for you? At
I'm
all?
more angry about having to pay. If I were to have Microsoft Office, now you
Okay,
can
so-
pay as a
sorry.
subscription.
Right here, you're supposed to go through that maintenance door, but for some reason, like a few days ago, someone just discovered you just do that and drain the moat that way. So that was like such a weird time save that we found. I don't know why that's a thing, but yeah, there we go. Sorry to cut you guys off, but
No, you're fine. Are we really calling that a moat?
I mean,
Toxic ooze.
I guess the toxic pool.
It's the conference.
Yeah, the toxicity of the conference is coalesced.
Yeah, basically, anytime you see me looking down at the start of a level, I'm doing that that quick launch that Clay mentioned earlier. So yeah.
Yeah, so this is like the bone zone. I don't really know what the
zone, okay.
Well, look, it's like a bunch of like rib cages.
There are
spines.
bones. That is true.
There's lots of bones.
Something else we haven't mentioned, and because it hasn't really come into play because I'm too good, is the fact that there's lava constantly rising, chasing you each level. It shouldn't ever be an issue for me, but sometimes it is if I'm bad.
Dude, I completely forgot about that. Also, wow, one hell of an ego, am I right?
Okay, my bad. I literally said that I'm not the best at this game, I promise.
This is the best run I'll see of this game all day.
That is true.
It's true.
This used to be one of my least favorite levels, but it's actually like one of the most straightforward ones.
Rulers also belong in hell, and whatever that triangular ruler that I can't remember the name of, that one really belongs in hell.
Here's another cool skip we're gonna do here at the end of chapter 4. Kind of skip some of these portals.
Oh man, old PC speakers. Those don't belong there, they're cool.
Okay.
I like those.
Claims you all this one here of all of us.
This is more of the junkyard for those at this point.
Yeah, the PC junkyard. Oh,
Right.
it's Canada.
It's Canada. Anybody who watched my runs from GDQ knows that I'm Canadian. Shout out to the Astrobot run. This is a game that I really hope I'm going to be submitting this to SGDQ. It came out too late for me to submit it to HGDQ, but I really hope this game gets into SGDQ. It's so cool. No pun intended. Also,
Set
that's our
square.
skill manager.
Set Square, that's what it is. Thank you. There are protractors too. They're later.
Yeah, it's true. Protractors will show up and they will kill us, actually, if we touch them. So
Unfortunately, there are no amateur tractors.
Yeah.
it's like real protractors.
Parabolas are
If
my
you touch them, they
nightmare.
kill you. All right, so we just got a necktie, and that's going to be kind of like a grappling hook for us, and it's really cool. And it's going to make stuff way faster, as you can see already.
You could say it's kind of like the homing attack, but I think of it more as Rayman's like lum swinging in Rayman 1.
Yeah, I guess I can see
Even
that.
though you don't swing at all.
Now, just imagine it like it's a first-person chameleon twist into your tongue.
This is a very
Yes,
scary
yeah.
level, by the way, because we have to barely reach that. Oh my god, nice. Okay,
The bow tie doesn't really look like a tie. I legit thought it was a giant tongue at first.
that's insane.
Yeah, I also like to imagine it's just a third arm that comes out of your chest specifically for the grapple.
Yeah. Map is deadly.
This is always like the most forgettable level for me is this one.
Even though it's Canadian? How could you say that?
No, not like the level. I mean like this specific, like level 45. I always
Okay.
forget that one exists. All right,
What?
so right here, I'm gonna do this for the fans right here. I'm gonna pet the penguin. There we go.
Aw.
Good choice.
And I'm also gonna drink coffee, just like a Canadian would on his way to work.
You stop by Tim's?
Yeah, I was about to say, is it
That's
Tim
my
Hortons?
Timmy's. All right, so this is like the most speed you're gonna see at the beginning of a level. Just like that. There you go. Also, I'm dashing before I grapple, and that just makes my my grapple slightly faster.
Yeah.
All right, and this is a very tight ending here. There you go, nice. Having to shoot before you grapple there.
Yeah. Be sure, remember kids, staple before you grapple. It's good life advice.
That's what they teach you in school. That's a really cool ending, by the way. I love the way that whoops, that level ends.
All the ink pens here are a little bit alarming.
Yeah, I don't know why they choose certain things to be in some levels. I feel like
Yeah.
these don't fit here, really.
Some of them make sense in context.
You don't have pens in
Others
Canada?
don't.
We have pens in Canada. That's not what I mean.
I mean, it's obviously in reference to the penguins
True.
that we saw earlier.
You know, you're right.
I
That's a
hate
better
that one.
explanation.
Anyhow, moving on.
Moving on.
That's chapter 5. That is like I think that's the fastest chapter of the game right there. It just goes by really quick. All right, so right now, Mr. Stapley is going to tell us to go find our senior advisor. So we're going to go find him. And if there's any fans of Emperor's New Groove out there, you're going to love this reference coming up here in a little second.
Little second.
Also, something we should mention is the fact that there's no there's an in-game timer for levels right now. We do run this game by RTA right now. Pull the lever, Kronk. Wrong lever.
That's what QA is about.
And now we are the senior advisor because we killed our senior advisor. That's how promotions work, actually. Don't actually do that.
Hey,
So,
anything goes in hell.
And obviously, as senior advisor, you're allowed to see secret things that would kill you normally that other people can't see. So that's how that works, right?
Yeah, so all the pink stuff kills you, by the way. That's the conceit here. So the
Yeah.
angry pencils, laser beams, and soon protractors.
Yeah, every
Deadly
single
things in
time,
real life.
every single time I see the pink things, it just looks like a bunch of colored pencils.
Yeah.
True.
Here it is.
Yeah,
Protractor
here's the
guillotines.
protractors.
It's like too many games have swinging saw blades and like giant axes and stuff. Not a protractors.
Well,
That is true.
when my physics teacher was teaching us about certain things.
Also, sorry, I'm cutting you off here. This is a really funny skip where we just go backwards at the beginning and climb this hotel, which is, like, in my opinion, the funniest skip that this game has to offer. And there's the end of the level right here.
Yeah, it's Wyndham skip.
Yeah, it's about as tall as the GDQ Hotel.
Did you just say Wyndham skip?
Yeah.
Shout out to the GDQ Hotel. Okay, that's a cool death.
Yeah, and then you got fired immediately. Yeah, that makes sense.
No, and I was about to die there again, too.
Protractors are bad because you know that movie Speed? My physics teacher put a giant protractor on the TV screen trying to measure the bus jump angle to see if it was actually possible or not.
Oh my god.
Was it possible?
No, it wasn't. My immersion was ruined.
So here's the, like, absolute shortest intermission where we're just going to talk to this guy and he's going to tell us to go talk to Mr. Stapley. We're going to go down.
Yay.
How is that allowed?
Blasphemy.
That's allowed. All right, and back to levels we go. And this right now we have 3 really cool skips in a row here that we're going to be doing. Oh, that's the first one.
Yeah. Death skip, yeah. Didn't skip the death though.
Again, playing this game well and talking and trying to explain what I'm doing, it's so hard. Okay, I have to make this very apparent. This is a very focus-heavy run, and I gotta explain a decent amount. Because what's funny is that both Clay and Sam have not actually played this game all the way through. So.
Yeah.
Like I said, my experience is I work in an office. That my experience ends there.
Yeah.
They did watch a full run of this though, so they are more skilled at commentating this game than most people would think.
Yeah, contrary to popular belief, we kind of know what we're doing.
Let's not go that far.
Okay.
I still don't understand. If anyone can explain to me what those things are, I don't accept pinwheel as the answer to that.
They're coat hangers. Oh wait, you're talking about these?
Yeah, the
These
spinnies.
I said they look like drones. Especially the ones with like all of the extra ones on it. Looks like the propellers.
Yeah.
But the real answer is they're deadly.
That is true. That is exactly what they are. All right, and that is chapter 6? 6.
Also, just noticed that level was the carpal tunnel.
All right, so work from hell. Again, this is just like it's the exact same thing.
Yeah, it's the other 2 days of the week for me that I'm not at the office.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Oh my God.
See, I do work from hell. My boss is in the chat right now, by the way. Hi. I do work from hell.
That's awesome. That's really funny. Okay. So right here, it doesn't matter what buttons we hit here. This is Dr. Phil, by the way. Hi. But we can hit Frowny or Smiley. We're just going to go ahead and swap between them because it's faster. And then there's 2 doors. We didn't know for the longest time you could go out that door. So we thought that door was always locked. So another free, like, 2-second time save that someone found.
And you know, Dr. Phil does belong in hell, so that's canon.
I don't know if you're allowed to say that.
Too late.
All right, so the new thing that they introduced here is these pillows that kind of just put us on a set path. And they are also really fast. And right here, we're just going to go ahead and slide off of that platform instead of going the path that they want us to go. So nice little skip there. Also, that level's called Wake Up, which is something that is a good thing for the game to remind me in this level.
Yeah, you don't want to sleep through your own run, Joey.
Oh my God. I was wondering if you were going to call me out for that.
That was literally you laid it up for me. I had to slam dunk.
Here's another level where we just skip everything by going behind us at the very beginning. There we go. That level's really difficult too normally, so yeah, shoutouts to GDQ 2024 where I slept through Sam's run that I was supposed to commentate.
Yep. I am awake, so I did not return the favor.
Don't worry, if it gets into GDQ, I feel like this game will be like a 5 a.m. slot, honestly. It gives off that kind of energy.
These are like the most aggressive pillows ever.
Yeah,
those are bounce pads. See, it's Sonic again.
So the thing about the pillows is that it actually keeps your speed that you have going into them, which is why you see me dashing into them and stuff like that, and I'm trying to chain a lot of speed. All right, so we're going to go on the talk show here. This is the Club 666 And that's the quickest talk show ever.
The worst talk show ever.
I mean, arguably it's the best because it's already over.
True. All right, we have 2 more skips here, back to back once again here. This one is a really cool building skip right there. But this does actually mess up our camera a lot here. Sometimes it makes my camera drift, but it seems fine. Okay, good.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna use this chair.
You should call that Joy-Con skip. Because it
That's a grandma chair. It's a grandma chair.
True. That is a chair that like a grandma would have.
Yeah.
All right, and nice. So using that chair, we were able to make this level like very short. So, all right, this is, in my opinion, the hardest level to run. Even though it's like not near the end of the game, I just am so bad at this level. So I'm gonna play it safe. Like I said, I'm so bad at this level. That's why I normally play it safe, and I try to, and then I still died.
All right. Well, this is a great first attempt at this level.
Yeah.
Yeah, so true. Okay, I'm gonna take it safe there. So yeah, this loses like 4 seconds over like my fast IL strat that I do, but it's not marathon safe or no reset safe, so we're not gonna do that.
Yeah, this is the kind of run where you could lose 4 seconds on a level and it's not the end of the world because there's so many levels to get through.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't like that tunnel with all the teeth. Well, they're not teeth, but, you know.
Well, that was fun in the tunnel, though, so.
Oh, that was nice.
So this level has a really cool strat I'm gonna go for. I don't go for this in PBs. Nice, awesome. I skipped that wind turbine. That saves like 1 second, but it's so scary to go for in runs because this is like, what, like 30 minutes into a run right now, so yeah. All right, so now we're on to Cafeteria Getaway, where the Tribal Union is going to try to stop us here. Shouts to George. Any people like named George out there? What do you mean, of course it's George? What, do you have something against
Of course it's normal. Listen, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
All right, so we have another pop culture reference. There was this hit indie game released in December of last year called something like Indiana Jones. I don't know the full name.
It was the big circle guy.
Yeah, the circle guy. And so we're going to do a nice little shout out to him here by grabbing this ice cream and running away from the boulder.
What boulder?
I'm not going to show it. I'm going to die.
Why not? I don't believe you.
I don't believe you. Show me
one hell of a boulder.
I think Joy just made up the boulder.
The boulder just doesn't exist, actually. I'm just making things up now.
He also made up that the lava rises. It doesn't.
Oh, it very much does.
It does.
All right, so this is where the game's going to get really fast because we get introduced to these like soda streams here, and they make us go really, really quick. If the first time you get here, it's kind of jarring how quick you go.
I still say they're Pop-Tarts.
These are not Pop-Tarts.
They're Pop-Tarts.
Also, in Sonic fashion, this is the basically one of the boost games.
Yeah.
We're playing Sonic Forces or Sonic Colors.
God help us if we're playing Sonic Forces. That game's in hell.
All right, here's a nice little skip here to get away from that conversation. As someone who's friends with multiple Sonic speedrunners,
same.
I plead the fifth.
Same. That's why I said it.
I love this skip coming up here. This is like one of the coolest skips, and this is like one of my least favorite levels casually, but we're gonna skip the entire thing by climbing up this ice cream cone.
Yeah,
and then we're gonna platform across multiple different ice cream cones.
No,
and
Clay,
there we go.
I think we need a name for that skip. What do you got, Clay?
Oh, maybe ice cream skip. That would be one hell of a name for it.
That's literally what I call it. So, good job. All right, and once again, just using those grapple hooks, those clothespins, or those hangers, I guess. I don't know why I call them clothespins. Here we're gonna go ahead and climb up the
pepper.
We're gonna climb up the ketchup here. Yeah.
That's right. I made that same mistake yesterday.
Yeah, I forget what you called it. Did you call it?
I called it a pepper. I thought it was a pepper.
Oh, no.
Because there are peppers in other parts of the background.
True. That one only saves like 2 seconds, but it looks really cool, so I go for it. All right, and here's our next intermission here, where we're going to get some peppers here, or some chili peppers, and we're going to give them to Chef Gordon. You can take a wild guess on who that's supposed to be a reference to.
I got nothing.
And there we go. He just peppers us up, and then we're good to go.
It's that Sonic runner, Gordon Ramsay.
True. I forgot that there's someone with a literal screen named Gordon Ramsay. I literally went to Hell's Kitchen with him.
See? And then he was the chef.
Oh, okay, that sucks. That's fine. This is a skip that I discovered. Well, not discovered, but I found the way that I do it myself. So that's pretty cool. Which is right here. We just go ahead and fly off and then zip line down here.
Those ones look like donuts rather than Pop-Tarts.
Pop donut.
I almost forgot what I had to do there. There's so much to remember here. This world is, aside from this level and the first level of this world really is just like the intended path is lava. Like you don't really see us do the intended path much at all.
It's either soda stream or lava.
Alright.
This makes my head hurt a little bit.
Yeah, it's very fast paced. I also want to mention, I don't know if it's actually going to be a thing. Also, this is a very hard skip I'm going to go for here.
No, is it spoon skip?
Yeah.
Of course.
There we go, nice. But I want to mention that there might be pretty soon, I'm not 100% sure, but there's talks about possibly making a bounty for this game. It's still in the works of being set up because we're waiting for someone to make an auto splitter for this game, which is currently in the works. So there is a chance that happens. So if this looks interesting to you at all, I would highly recommend picking up the game and maybe winning some money from it. So
I was going to ask if the bounty was for coming with better skip names.
I hope so.
Okay, look, we try our best.
You missed kebab skip earlier. The other thing, I thought you said bouncy, which yes, this game is very bouncy.
Yeah, this game's so bouncy.
Now, naturally, the executives get to be in heaven.
That is true. And they get to play golf. If anybody has watched my runs at GDQ, you know I'm very good at golf.
True. I bet they would golf with their grandmothers.
I will call this out because, it's another hotfix. On February 4th, I'm going to be doing golf with your grandmother for an hour and a half on hotfix. I don't know why they're letting me do that again, but they are. So...
It'll be one hell of a run.
Yeah, it will be.
I'm surprised we didn't say that one yet.
I feel like we did.
All right, this is another world that, like, you're not going to see us go the intentional path, like, much at all. They teach us how to wall run here, and we're only going to use it, like, 4 times, I think.
Yeah. You know who else wall runs? Sonic.
God dang it.
Yeah, we're going to pull out the triangle jumps.
Oh, yeah, the triangle jump's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
Alright, right there, we just skip all the way to the end. That's like the easiest skip in the game.
Yeah, this whole run was just an excuse for Clay to hate on Sonic.
See, I love Sonic, but I just... he didn't have to show up here.
True. So this is like the one time we actually have to wall run is this level. Like, there's no skip for this level, so... But we can go ahead and jump right here and skip up to there.
I do like the money sound effects that play when you wall run on the money.
Yeah, definitely. Right here is a really cool skip where we're just going to go over to this golf club.
Is it golf? Is that club skip?
Or is it golf skip?
You can make fun of it all you want. It makes it easy to figure out what I'm doing, okay?
I mean, yes and no, because there's a lot of golf clubs in these different levels.
Yeah, you just did two different golf club skips in a row.
That is true. All right, so now we're actually going to go golfing. Let's go golfing.
Yo, golfing.
So we have to impress this guy over here, and so the way we're going to do that is by getting a hole-in-one, which honestly I'd be impressed by too. So
yeah, it's one hell of a shot.
Yeah, look at how high that went.
Shot.
All right, and there we go. Now he's impressed, and we can move on. All right, and back to crazy skips that we're going to do. We're going to go out the elevator. We're immediately going to do a 180 and start doing some crazy movement.
Oh, is that golf club skip? Oh, wait, which one?
Oh my god, Clay. Alright, so this is like one of my least favorite levels casually, but thankfully because of the skips here, it makes it much easier.
Also, I had to look it up for my own sanity. That golf guy was named Mickelson, which is a reference to an actual golfer, Phil Mickelson.
That's funny.
Gotcha.
I had to look it up because, like,
Oops.
why do I recognize that name? Why do I kind of know that reference? Why do I know a golfer?
Enjoy that the rich people are showing off in the background, so they have like this giant like credit card.
All right, this is a very scary skip, but thankfully I got enough speed. It's hard to do that skip, but also get enough speed so that you don't die out of that portal. All right, so right here you're supposed to go on that side of the wall, but thankfully you can just walk over and dash on the other one. And then this is my favorite skip in the run because it's so easy. Literally anybody can do this. You run down here, and then you just run down the other one. And that skips like half the level. Oh. Okay, good backup. All right, and then this level is like one of the only ones in World 9 that doesn't have a skip, so. And by the way, we're on World 9 of 10. Like, we're almost done. Like, this game goes by so quick.
Hell comes at you fast.
True, that sounds very ominous when you say it like that, but yeah.
Ominous.
Yeah, it's one hell of a threat, Clay.
Yeah. That was more of like a warning.
What? Okay, I got stopped there for some reason. All right, that sucks. That's like a very bad time loss.
Hell came at you fast.
That's one hell of a time loss right there. So my PB for this game is just a low 43. So I'm going to be happy if we get like a 45, honestly, for a marathon setting. That's very good.
It's not just any marathon setting, the first marathon setting for this game.
That is true. First of hopefully many, because again, I think this game needs more attention.
Well, speaking of marathon settings, we have talked about some of our other events, but remember, GDQ has events year-round, and sorry, I'm skipping the intermission here, but we have...
it's all good. This is the best time to do it, actually. This is the long part where we're doing not much.
Perfect.
So.
Well, I do want to let everyone know that we have Back to Black 2025, the upgrade to UBAF, which will be live February 6th and 9th here on James Done Quick Twitch channel, benefiting Race Forward, so you can catch all the action and support an incredible cause. Try typing !BTB in chat to see the event schedule, and if you want to find out more about the all black speedrunning community, try typing !BAF in Twitch chat. And if you're crafty, if you're extra crafty and you're interested in making some prize submissions, those are open from now until February 1st. I've seen some of the prizes at our events. They're amazing what the community comes up with. So if that's you, definitely take a look and consider submitting something. But with that, I saw a giant hand, so I'm just going to
so we went to a dinner with the executives, and we went to go sneak off to try to steal our soul back, and Satan didn't like that, so he brought us back. And now we're into the final chapter, and this is, we get a stomp power-up now, so we can go down really fast now, too. So that's going to lead to some more skips here and some really difficult levels.
Yeah, see, Clay, you were right. We do go down.
Guess who else can stomp?
True.
Mario.
True.
And Sonic.
No, that was what I meant. Also, chandeliers are definitely the most terrifying decorative hanging element, so they definitely belong in hell.
I feel like
Chandelier is we're going to be using for a skip coming up here.
I feel like if you work in an office with a chandelier, that's just ominous.
It is. If you're in a horror movie, don't stand underneath a chandelier. It's just a rule.
That was a really cool skip I did there. This is, in my opinion, the hardest level of the game, or like in a non-speedrun sense. Like, this is just a very difficult level to do in one go. So, because this level is rising, like we mentioned before, and that part right there is very tight. So, and then we have a lamp skip. Can you guess what we're gonna use?
A chandelier.
Probably
You're right.
a trapeze. Oh.
A trapeze is insane. All right, and then so now we have another. This is like the last level we're going to do with no skips whatsoever in it, and then we're almost near the end. So
Yeah, this is also. There's also a lot of books in this area, which is curious. I mean, I like reading, but I guess that could be hell to someone.
It depends on the book.
So now we have the last two levels here. This is the last like real level before the final boss, and we're gonna use this chandelier to go up. Okay, there. I almost didn't make it. Oh, can I save this? I might be able to. Okay, I saved it. We're good.
It's one hell of a save.
And,
I was.
Well, hopefully. Okay, and there we go. Okay, we saved it. All right, and now we are back, or we are here to the final boss, and this is Satan, so we have to go ahead and defeat him to get our soul back. And so we have this timer underneath or like this boss timer. We have to go through these rings before that timer runs out, like the line runs out. And this is actually really funny. We have one more skip that we're gonna do here, and no, I'm not joking. I came up with the name of this skip, and everybody seems to love it. This is called Satanless. So
Also,
we're gonna be doing that coming up here.
But you know what other character has to go through rings in order to not die, or collect them, I should say?
Okay,
True.
Sonic does not have to deal with Satan. This does not work.
But there is a satanic version of Sonic and Illbleed, so
Yeah, this is Black Doom, right?
yeah, it's true. It's true.
Okay, that was weird. Alright, we should be good though. Alright, so here's Satan's skip right here. We're going to use this pillar to skip going around Satan like you normally would have to. And there we go. Awesome. Okay, so that's the boss done. Time is not yet. Time's going to be in about like a minute from now. But there we go. I don't know what the timer's at right now. If someone could tell me, that'd be cool. But that was very good. Pretty good run.
It's
It's epilogue.
It's slowly going to catch up, so depending on how long that takes, you're looking at about a 44 and a half-ish, probably.
Oh, okay, so it's probably like a 45 then, which I'm completely happy with, considering the mistakes I made. Very good.
Well, as we
really have to.
as we get to that point, why don't you tell all the wonderful people out there where they can maybe see more of your work, where they can find you, any shout-outs you all have, or anything else you want to share as we get up there.
That's fair. I might have to do that afterwards because
totally
I'm right at the end here. Right here is the final cutscene here. We got to do some last-minute text mashing. Mr. Stapley reveals that he is now taken over, and in the sequel, he will be the final boss. And so get ready on time here, and time. There we go.
Hey.
That was, honestly, I will take that. That was pretty okay. But yeah, so that is hell of an office. I believe that was sub 45, so I'm very content with that.
That was a hell of a run.
Definitely a hell of a run. But yeah, that's like about a minute and a half off my PB, considering I've had some pretty big deaths in this run. I will take that. Thank you, QD, for having me on, and also GDQ for letting me on to show off this game. Please, if this looked any amount of interesting, check out this game. It's like $15 on Steam. I definitely recommend it. It is really fun to play and also more fun to speedrun. Definitely a game built for it. I stream at twitch.tv/KingJ0444. I'm known for this game and Astrobot currently are the ones that I'm grinding the most. But yeah, and then thank you, Sam and Clay, for commentating. There was a lot to go over in this run, so I definitely couldn't do it alone. Where can they find you guys?
You can probably find me nowhere, but I'm on Blue Sky at CM125. I don't really stream. Yeah, you can find me in hell, stuck in an elevator. I just want to say thank you for having me, Joey, and thank you, GDQ, for having me as well.
And if you want to see or hear more of me and my bad puns, I stream over at twitch.tv/illegallysam. I don't run this game, but I do run other platformers, which are often pretty cool. So, if, like I said, if that interests you, come check me out.
And for reference, Sam is not going anywhere. Sam will be sticking around for the next run, or should I say Steve? So
My bad.
So looking at the time, it looks like you got about a 44-44, which is a super cool number to have. So
Close to my name.
it is close to your name, actually. There, if you put the 0 in for the hour, or the O, should I say, you're all set. But thank you all for joining us. Like I said, Sam is not going anywhere, but neither are we. So we're going to take a quick break to transition to the next run. But we have Dicey Dungeons coming up, which is an amazing little roguelike dungeon crawler dice game, as the name implies. So stick around. It's going to be a lot of fun. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a few minutes. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Perilous Paths here on GDQ Hotfix. My name is Cutie, and we're going to hop in right to the next run, which is Dicey Dungeons with Selkruth Mind, and of course, Legally Sam sticking on as commentary. How are you both doing?
Hello, as was so kindly said, my name is Selkithmine, but you can call me Sel, and this is Dicey Dungeons. I'm going to be doing backstage all fights, and so if you haven't gotten super far in this game, you've maybe not seen backstage before. We're going to click into this doorway here. This is the final episode of Dicey Dungeons. It's sort of the final boss fight, you could say. So we have this little cutscene here where we're learning about the lore of the game. Basically, we're dice. We get turned into dice to compete in the game show. And Lady Luck has rigged it. We've realized it's rigged. We decided we're tired of this being rigged. We're going to fight back. So for all fights here, I'm going to use the Jester. This is one of 6 characters in the game. As speedrunners, this is our choice of character for all fights. I'll explain the difference between what the category means, but with that being said, time's going to start in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, Sam, do you want to introduce yourself?
Good luck.
I'm still here. I didn't go anywhere. I'm illegally Sam. I have played this game. I've never speedrun it, but it is a very fun game, and I'm excited to see Cell absolutely demolish it.
Yeah, so if you've played this game before, you might be aware that normally you will pick up new weapons and you'll upgrade, you'll gain more HP, different things. Not backstage. In backstage, we actually, when we defeat a character, we add them to our party. So, all fights means I have to do literally every fight in the dungeon. So this is both good and bad. It can reduce RNG to an extent, but it also can cause problems. That was very lucky. Not often we can one-cycle wolf puppy like that. We're full health, so I don't need to heal. That's a heal up there, but we don't need it. So yeah, I'm just going to be going through. There's a few characters we would love to see. Ideally... Oh, I don't like any of these. Ideally, I would very much like to see Rat King later on. That will appear either for floor or for 5. If we see Rat King, please pop off in chat because Rat King is best character. Math is hard.
Everybody bring out the rat jams when Rat King shows up.
All right, so something else you might be noticing on screen is, by and large, I'm playing with my mouse. That is the fastest way to control this game. But a little strat is it's even faster to use a controller to end your turn. That's a strat that's taken from full game runs of this. There are full game runs. They're a time. They're fun. I love it. The RNG is a horrible time though. So I have a controller in my left hand and a mouse in my right, and that's how we're going. Sneezy's a good find. Sneezy is an early level character that we don't mind seeing. What are we gonna get? Okay, we'll do that. All right.
And I know you can't see it because you're very focused, but we're having an emote party in chat right now with dice and rats and different things.
Ooh, let's
so anyone else who wants to join in, go ahead and then pop those into chat.
Yes, please. Let's have an emote party. We're gonna do this. See how it works. All right, come on, Sneezy. There we go.
Watching somebody play this game very fast is an experience, having only played it casually, because I do not have it memorized what all these enemies do, and you kind of need to know what they do to go fast.
Very much so. This is actually, so fun fact, I can run this game in any language because I know it well enough. This is the only episode where I actually do care about the language. As we'll see when we get to the Lady Luck fight, which is the final boss of this dungeon, as makes sense. It's very challenging. I need to be able to see what things say, what they mean. So I cannot run this in another... Oh, hit the wrong button. I meant to change characters there. All right, 07's in chat for Sneezy. I did not mean to kill Sneezy there. This is an important note. In this category, or in this episode, I should say, in Backstage, if... So I had to think about what I wanted to do there. This and this. If your player character, so in this case, Jester, gets knocked out, that's the end of the run. However, the rest of the characters can be knocked out, no problem. Ow.
They are quote-unquote disposable.
Yes.
So does this sort of have flavors of like a Nuzlocke in Pokemon kind of thing? Like are they permanently knocked out?
Yes, they are permanently gone from our party. And here we're going to pick up another die. My controller will cooperate, so I can speed through it. Yeah, I have 3 die now instead of 2. You didn't see it because it literally picked up the dice, the new die, immediately on first frame. Another reason to use controller. Who are we going to swap to?
Yeah, in a way, it's also kind of the opposite of a Nuzlocke because this is all fight, so we're actually able to recruit literally everybody we find.
So it does mean that I have more cannon fodder in a way for the final fight. That feels very mean to call these creatures that, but it is somewhat true. It is also harder though at the same time because then I have to sort through more. That's going to be Pirate done. 07's in chat for Pirate. While I'm trying to solve the rest of this floor, Cutie, if there's any messages or anything important that chat should know about, now is a great time.
There's always important things going on here at GDQ. We've talked about some of our other events in our previous run, but I do want to let everyone know that GDQ's next all-women and femme speedrunning event, Frost Fatales 2025, will be live from March 9th to 16th, benefiting the National Women's Law Center. So visit gamesdonequick.com/framefatales for more information on that event, or use !FF in Twitch chat to check out the schedule.
Awesome. And I see a character here on this floor, which is beautiful. I'm very happy about that. What do I do? This is where we have to think in this run. I'm actually going to do this. Did I put the wrong one in? I think I put the wrong die in. Oops. Oh well. We are fine. So on this floor, something that I noticed is we have the Singer as one of the enemies we're going to pick up. This is extremely exciting news because the Singer does the weakened damage effect. So as you can see, there's different damage effects, like the Rhino Beetle will lock dice on you. That can be a little bit annoying. But the weakened one actually makes the enemy's weapons less strong. That's really, really useful, especially against Lady Luck. It can be the difference between one of the party members dying and living in some of her attacks. So getting to see one of those appear is always very useful. Okay, I have to think. Where do I want to go? Here. So the reason I went here is because we have Pea Shooter, which is reusable. And I needed to do that would give me enough damage. Okay. We're going to pick up another die here. Normally, this would be where you would level something up. I'm going to heal a little bit, I think. We got lots of pretty low. We're going to heal up Cactus. Wolf Puppy, I'll sacrifice if I need to. All right, Singer.
Yes. Something else to note that you might have noticed be used a few times in the bottom left where it says against all odds. That's your special ability.
Mm-hmm. So that gets charged up. You have to take 16 damage in this particular case, and then I will always roll 4 even dice because, it's against all odds. So that's what Weekend does, is that makes it... So I have to have a specific thing. What's she gonna do? Oh boy, okay. No, we're not gonna gamble. We're not gonna gamble on that.
That is a very funny thing to say during this run.
This game, I swear, knows when I'm on GDQ, and there we go. Rhino Beetle is dead. 07's Rhino Beetle. That could have potentially killed the main character, and we don't want that. Do this. Eat. Okay. I think we're gonna go Handyman again.
Yeah, the one good thing about losing a party member is that it gives you a free switch.
Yes.
Which I know you only normally get 1 a turn, but that technically lets you switch to 2 characters.
Yes.
Dead.
Okay. I'm gonna heal up Wolf Puppy, just so they're full. Who we got? Cowboy. Okay, I'm happy to see a cowboy. I also see Audrey, who's not a bad choice. So Audrey's one of the bosses you normally see in the game, except in this run, we fight them as just a regular enemy. Cactus is proving to be very useful, though Cactus might... No, Cactus will be fine. Cowboy requires 6s, but with against all odds, it's fairly useful. This.
Cowboy's signature weapon is one of my favorite weapon names in the game because it's the 6-shooter.
It's very good. Here. Right, that's... Yeah, Wolf Puppy is dead, but it does mean it's going to cut the Cowboy's turn a little bit shorter, which is useful. And we have Thorns, which means damage is being done back. Singer. Singer is good to have as well. You reset. Okay, we're gonna gamble.
Let's go gambling.
Oh, one short. Okay. Come on. We'll be fine. Oh yeah, because it's weekend. Okay. Oh. We're gonna take 6 damage. Okay. Everything is fine. Let's go. There we go.
You took the damage intentionally, obviously, to power up against all odds.
Clearly, definitely. Sometimes it's nice to keep that set and ready to go when possible. Okay. What do I want to do against Audrey? I'm going to... She doesn't have her innate status, which is interesting. Normally she's sort of less, like... weaken damages her less, but it seems to be, I guess, in this episode that doesn't affect her. So we're gonna go with that. I'm gonna focus up on math here. So once again, Cutie, if there's anything you need to tell us about.
Well, we did receive a sub in the Twitch chat that says 07. And so, just so everyone knows, your subs, your Prime Gaming subs, your gift subs, your bits, etc., cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel do help support Games Done Quick Hotfix. So if you enjoy watching speedruns, consider subscribing to the channel, whether that says 07 or something else, and that'll give you access to our emotes and chat with other subscribers during our replays. And speaking of replays, if you missed out on any of our shows or events, be sure to check out the VODs on youtube.com/GamesDoneQuick. Now, a little birdie told me that often new shows get a YouTube playlist after 5 episodes, and this is Perilous Paths' 5th episode, so if that information is correct, and especially if you're watching on YouTube right now, stick around. We might just have a playlist up there in a little bit. So make sure that you check out all the new shows, all the playlists, lots of great content on there. But it looks like Audrey is almost down, so I'll toss it back.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, this is going decently well. I'm trying to think what I want to do. We're gonna go here. Okay. We have lots of healing, at least. They're very generous with healing on floor 5, which is great. So far, this has been relatively okay. I'm not gonna jinx it by saying it's been good. But it has been, I am not terribly scared. I say that.
The run is not over yet.
I say that I should probably be more scared because we're about to go to Lady Luck once I heal up. Singer's gonna get healed. Okay, this is a party. All right, so Lady Luck has 3 phases. She starts off, she's gonna have this dramatic entrance here with dialogue. We don't worry about that. It's too slow to do that. We're gonna click through it. But she's got 3 phases. And this is why I cannot, you'll see in a sec here, why I cannot run this episode in any language other than English, because I only speak English, is I need to read. So in this case, she's going to do 18 damage or 1 damage to something green. Cactus? We'll do cactus.
I'm pretty sure a cactus is green.
So in the first phase of this, she does 1 attack. Second phase, she does 2. Third, she does 3. And then the fourth, she's going to issue commandments, and that's going to take us into the next phase, bosses. Okay, so we want to move over to Audrey. I am going to pop a Thorns on us, just for use. We're gonna go there. We're gonna do that is not enough. We're gonna do this, and then I can weaken her next turn. So Audrey should take 2 damage here. Is Audrey is green? Yes, Audrey is green. Never always sure how the game wants to classify things. Plants, hat wears green things, so we have to go back to cactus. But first, I'm gonna do this, and this, and this, and then cactus, my friend. Hello, welcome back. So,
do they always correspond to a character
yes.
you have, or does it have a chance? Okay.
You have to always have a character that has it. Incredible coding skill on that part. So let's see what we have. Issue commandments. Okay. I'm gonna do that. I want to be on next turn. I'm gonna go to Singer just because I can then do this. So sometimes in phase 2, she can issue commandment where you can't switch characters. So you have to think very carefully about who you end your turn on sometimes. Okay, so she's been cursed now, which means there's a... Oh, no, never mind, it cleared because we changed phases. I forgot about that. Cursed means that she will essentially take damage to herself. Or no, there's a chance for it to fail 50% of the time. Do I want to take 12 damage right now? No, I don't. We're going to swap to Audrey. You're not full health. Perfect. And Audrey has the ability to weaken. Okay, so she's done shield, which means I have to do 4 extra damage. Oh boy. Don't. Okay, think. Is that worth it? Shock all equipment, 5 poison. That would... We are not going to finish that. I am going to stay on Audrey. If I've gone kind of quiet, I have to think very hard here, which is why. Okay. So this one. So she's been weakened. I don't mind all dice being blinded. Do I want to use that one there? This is weakened. We're not going to take a ton of damage, so we're actually going to pop on over to Singer. There we go. Because we can pump a lot of damage into Lady Luck, and we have a countdown item, which means that I can, even with my dice all blinded, it's fine. I still know what I'm doing. Okay, what's your commandment this time? Don't reduce all countdown. Any countdowns? Okay, 6 damage. That's fine. We're not going to change characters. Okay, she's below half health. This is going okay. Don't use 5s and turn. Oh, that's terrifying. Okay. Oh boy. So the odds of one of these being a 5 is very, very high. Okay. Who do we want to sacrifice? Cactus, you get to be the sacrifice. There we go. That was a 5. All right. Thank you, Cactus.
I was just doing the odds in my head of them all being 6s or 5s or something.
Switch fighters. Okay. We're going to go here. Yeah, the odds were not great on that, and Campbell did not pay out very well, but we're going to do that. Cowboy will live. Cowboy's a high damage dealer. That's why I've been trying to save them as much as I can. We've been weakened, which is unfortunate. Don't use 6. Reduce health to 1. Okay. Oh boy. Well, about that, we're gonna do that. It's fine.
That's a little not ideal.
A little not ideal for this character. Reduce health to 1. This is fine. So this is the end of phase 2. We're going to phase 3, where she's now going to start doing attacks that are basically going to one-shot. This should be doable. I'm going to really focus, though, because this is a little sketchy.
You got this.
6. 3 damage. Want to stay there on that one. You. 6 damage to weaken. Weaken isn't going to save. So if I do that 6 damage versus 8, we'll take the 8 damage. Then we should have against all odds procced, and then we can do... Yes, because the burn will be cleared because character dies. All right, thank you, Audrey, for your service. Cowboy, please come do damage for us. We rolled 1-6, not bad, not bad. We're gonna do this. All right, and we want Cowboy alive, so we're gonna go over to Singer. He's gonna do some weaken for us. Thank you, Singer, for your service. Heads up for tech time will happen when Lady Luck health hits 0. I will do my best to give as much advance notice on that as I can, but sometimes I don't get much. All right.
So you can't see me, but I am saluting every time somebody dies.
6 and time. Oh,
GG's.
GG's.
oh, that felt pretty good.
Timer will
Anyways.
catch up, but we're looking at about a 20 and a half-ish.
Oh, no.
That's not quite a PB, but that's very good for a marathon setting. Anyways, that's backstage. We have beat Lady Luck. We're out. There's a whole cutscene here that reveals the story. I will let you play this game yourself, get that cutscene, see it yourself. But yeah, I love Dicey Dungeons. It's my main speed game. I love it. There's so many great categories. One of my big goals for this year is we actually don't have a way to seed this game, but some of the categories rely so heavily on certain RNG that my goal is to work on trying to figure out how to seed this game. So if that sounds interesting to you, you want to come code diving, all that stuff, come talk to me. DMs are open. I'd love to chat with you because I think there's a lot of elements of this game, so many categories that could be shown more easily in events and marathons if we could seed them and control the RNG a little bit. So, but yeah, with that being said, Cutie, thank you for having me on as a roguelike hunter. I'm very excited that the show is here now. If you want to know more about me, you can find me on Twitch at Selkoothmind. I'm around. I stream a lot of indie games, lots of roguelikes as well. Yeah, Sam, anything from you?
Dicey Dungeons. It's a fun game. Would recommend. You can still find me at twitch.tv/illegallysam if you want to hear more from me. But yeah, that was a very good run, and I hope everyone enjoyed it because I had a good time watching.
Well, thank you both so much for being here. 07's in the chat for their service, for Sam and Sel. You know, we do it for the characters, we'll do it for them. But don't go anywhere. There's more hotfix to come. We've got Death's Door coming up. It's going to be an amazing run. So stick around. We'll be back in a few minutes. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Perilous Paths here on GDQ Hotfix. My name is Cutie, and we're going to hop in right into the next round. We've got Death's Door, any percent, latest patch, restricted, any weapon. That is a lot of commas. I'd love to hear more about that. So let's go ahead and welcome in Velociraptor and his commentary team, Mando, SRB, and TFT. How are the three of you doing today?
Doing really well.
Doing well.
Awesome. Well, go ahead and give us a little bit of an introduction. Tell us, what we can expect to see, maybe what some of those commas and categories mean, and then we'll hop right into the run.
Yeah. So I'm Roger. This is Death's Door. Any percent basically just means that we're going for the base ending of the game. Restricted means that we disallow specific major glitches. We can get into that later into the run. I don't know. Is there anything that you guys want to say before we start?
I don't know. Hi, I'm Mando. I also run this game and a couple others. Not as well as Roger, though.
And I'm TFT. I also run this game a little bit. And yeah, that's sort of 80%'s fun category. And Roger will do a great job running it.
TFT is being very modest right now. He's actually the world record holder in this category. So yeah. Okay. We ready to start?
Yeah, just give us a quick countdown, 3, 2, 1, let us know, and we will get started.
Okay. We're going to start in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck. Have fun.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Yeah. So this is Death's Door. This is the bus that's dropping us off at work. We work at the Reaping Commission. It's going to pop up in the bottom right here. This is the Hall of Doors. And you're going to see me rolling a lot. That's because this is restricted, which means that right now, or I guess for basically the entire run, or 2/3 of it, rolling is going to be our most efficient form of movement until we get a specific spell. Yeah, this is our first day at this Reaping Commission, and our job is to reap souls. We're carrying a sword. That's going to be our primary damage output for the entire run. The only other weapon category for this game would be Umbrella only, which is more of a challenge run because it does half damage.
Yeah, so we're gonna see a couple quick pieces of tech right here. That's a fast door, kind of walking into the hitbox of the door as it spawns. And we skip the entire tutorial by hitting that switch and are immediately into the first boss. Roger's going to be using the standard attack pattern of heavy, light, light. It is the standard combo. It does the most consistent DPS over the course of a fight. And so we're going to use that to very quickly dispatch this boss. There are 3 phases. Unfortunately, we're just going to see the one because we slammed through it so quickly.
So as you saw earlier, we kind of blazed through all of that dialogue, and that's because the Death's Door community uses a dialogue skipper for accessibility reasons, which I think is a really nice thing to have, especially because the run is so long. You really don't want to be mashing text, for an hour and a half.
For sure. And the game also, the way that you have to do dialogue is every time you do have a text box, you need to press 2 inputs to skip. And so, like Roger said, it can be very challenging on the hands, which is why we've kind of decided as a community to alleviate that a bit.
From a lore aspect, what happened, or what has happened so far, is, we are this crow working for the Reaping Commission, and we're going to get this soul that we have been assigned, and then some monster knocked us out. So we were able to catch sight of the monster that knocked us out on that bridge a little while ago, and right now we're chasing through the cemetery to try to figure out where they're going.
This introduces us to one of the main kind of gameplay loops of the game, which is there are these kind of blocks or sets of enemies we need to defeat to unlock certain things. In this case, it's the key. And coming up, we'll come up to the first arena, where it'll spawn a few waves of enemies that we need to take care of before it allows us into the next section. We're going to use the key we just got to unlock the arena, and we'll have a few waves here. The way that these arenas work is that the enemies spawn in a consistent pattern. So as a community, we've kind of gotten some pretty optimized routes for these combat. He knows where everything's going to spawn, so he's making sure he's in the right spot to kind of get early hits, get arrows where he needs to, and kind of quickly dispatch of enemies.
You'll see the couple of different attacks TFT mentioned earlier during DFS, that there's a heavy, light, light, which is the most optimal damage cycle. If you are using a heavy, it does 2 damage or 2x damage. The sword that Roger is using does one damage. And right now we're going through this tutorial right now where this guy, Steadhone, is teaching us how to use heavies and roll heavies. And then if you do a full charged heavy, that does 3 damage.
Yeah. Right. Some enemies have projectiles that they'll shoot at you, which you can either light slash or heavy slash. Either double or triple the damage depending on what the weapon is.
So we've gotten to the bridge we saw the crow on. We're making our way through to get to where the final destination is. Luckily, we know where that is. It's a little bit of a maze when you first start out. But what you're going to see Roger do here is kind of start grabbing a couple of these imps. If you look in the bottom right corner, there's a resource of soul. We use that soul to get upgrades throughout the run. And so he's collecting a bit now because we need to hit certain breakpoints in a bit. But most of it we get from these arena combats. So it's the second one, much like the first. We know where these spawns are. Most of these are going to be kind of similar sets of enemies. We have the grunts, and which are kind of our base enemy, the imps that kind of fly around and charge at us, rollers that have the backpacks that block the backside, and then witches, which kind of spawn around and put these projectiles we can use to deflect. As we get further in the game, we'll see more different types of enemies. And mostly it's just kind of reacting to whatever combination the game gives us at any point.
Yeah, a pretty clean first two arenas. We're going to come up on probably the first major roadblock in terms of speedrunning. This is a very heavy, or reset heavy split. We're basically going to fight a castle.
Guardian of the Door. They have two main attacks. It kind of swing the large building arms, and also we'll jump back and do a laser attack. So we know where those arm attacks are going to be. Roger's positioning himself to dodge them. He's positioning himself behind the boss here for the laser attack, so he can get attacks in while it's kind of doing its animation for setup. And then he'll roll through the laser attack to use iframes to dodge damage. And other than that, it's just a clean combo through to finish the boss. Very clean boss.
Really nice boss.
Surprised I didn't take a hit at the end there.
Something to note also about this is that with a lot of the bosses, but particularly noticeable about this boss, is that if you die before, in this case, before the bridge spawns, then if you fall off or you die or something, or you get hit by the last little bit, then the boss death doesn't actually count and you have to fight it again. Which can be very frustrating a lot of times.
For sure. This does take a lot from Soulslikes, so they are pretty punishing on certain aspects like that. Of note, also... Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, we actually only have a couple ways we can heal. Roger has definitely taken 0 damage, but the only ways we can heal is using seeds, which I don't think we grabbed any yet, heal at the pots that have been around, or going to a door and going through it.
Yeah. So we found this monster, or we now know that he's just like a big crow who knocked us out and took our soul that we were assigned. And hey, dude, that's the name of the game. And he takes us this enormous floating door, and essentially all of this dialogue that we're skipping, he's saying, I want these giant souls to try to open this door. And he sends us on an errand through these 3 areas that we're seeing right now, or the entrances to them. And our goal is to go through those areas and defeat the bosses to, get those giant souls so that we can try to open this door eventually.
So something to note from the lore aspect is that obviously the Grey Crow is much bigger and older looking than us. And, he was a former Reaper for the Commission as well. And the reason that he's trying to get through the door is because his own assigned soul went through the door and he wants it back. And the reason that he needs it back so badly is because the crows will continue to age as they are on their assignments. So right now, while we have our own boss assignment, our soul assignment, we are aging and we're able to die. And so obviously the Grey Crow wants his soul back so that he can continue to live the standard immortality life given to the crows between assignments.
We'll get back to him later, though. We're getting to the first section of the game. This is Estate. It's kind of the introductory area for this first kind of 3 sets of zones. It introduces us to this fire mechanic. We can use our arrows, either dip it into the fire or shoot through the fire to light these braziers, and we use the braziers to unlock gates, as you can see here. So that's the primary kind of puzzle loop in this section.
Something to note also, if we saw that Roger just missed the arrow because it hit some of the background stuff. This skip that's coming up, we're going to call it Pothead Skip, uses a lot of the geometry in the game to allow us to use the this particular plant pot to roll up and then roll onto the hedge. So all of this stuff is it's not background, like you can actually like use it, which is cool in some respects to do skips like this. But then also really annoying when you have to like hit things or like projectiles and stuff, or shoot arrows, try to go around those particular items with hitboxes.
Yeah, it's kind of what you see is what you get, in both a good and bad way. So what we need to do here is this is kind of split in two sections. We skip the cutscene with Pothead kind of explaining to us a bit about this area, but what we need to do is get the two levers on both sides of this. It gives us kind of the standard combats of unlocking different zones, and then some puzzles with the fire. All of these enemies are standard spawns, but in kind of random locations, so Roger is kind of adapting to what we see throughout the section. A very clean job of getting through that.
Yeah, the RNG enemy movement and behavior is not exactly ideal, especially when you're trying to optimize your movement through an area while eliminating enemies.
Yeah.
Something that
Things
you'll
like the witch kind of following.
Yeah.
Something that you'll also notice is that like when you use levers and stuff, there's a freeze, and so the enemies will pause for a second. But if there are already projectiles going, I'm not sure if arrows go, but the witch projectiles definitely will continue to go, and it can actually hit you during a cutscene.
Yeah, I've seen an arrow or two fly like that, so they definitely can. It's just the animation's shorter, so it doesn't happen very often.
Mm-hmm.
Looking for a good mage spawn, thank you. Because I had no pips.
Oh yeah, we didn't mention that. There's a magic system in this game, and arrows cost 1 pip. Hitting things refreshes pips. Usually it's 1 per thing hit. There are a couple exceptions. Mushrooms usually give double, or like 1 per mushroom, things like that.
You'll notice that Roger isn't actually lighting all of the braziers. Something to note is that some of the braziers will actually spawn enemies, and so we're trying to skip the ones that aren't required so that we don't spawn those extra enemies.
The one that we just skipped spawns a couple more mages, which will follow you indefinitely. So getting that nice little angle to light the brazier without lighting that extra fire pit is definitely nice.
Yeah, so Roger mentioned earlier that there are 3 different sections in the game that we're trying to go to collect the different giant souls. And so this is the beginning of the first area, which is Estate, obviously. So there's this introductory area with the puzzles and stuff, and then we'll be going shortly into the dungeon area, which is split into 2. We'll see that in a second.
That's Pothead. He's the dude whose cutscene we skipped earlier. And yeah, he has a pot for a head. It's great. This game has a lot of wordplay, as you may have kind of picked up on, with the naming of the characters being like Steadhone instead of Headstone, or Pothead.
Yeah. So Roger is doing a high strength route, which is the safer and generally, I guess it's a personal opinion, but I was going to say it's more fun because you have the strength to actually get through everything. So we saw an upgrade there, and the souls that TFT mentioned earlier are going to be used to get those various upgrades at the hub that we just saw.
Yeah. Strength does by default 1 damage. Each point of strength adds 0.2 to that. So we'll eventually get to double the damage once we get to 5 strength. So in this next section, we're kind of introduced to a new type of puzzle. They're the different pots. They like to hide in the section. So as we're going around, we know where they are, but they hide as regular pots. We kind of have to find them to destroy them to get through to the next section. And we're making our way to what's kind of the core gameplay loop of these sections, which is there are 4 crow souls. Each of them's behind an arena. Once we defeat the arena, we get to the crow soul. And getting the 4 crow souls will open a door to a prize, which we'll get to in a bit.
Prize, for sure.
Yeah, it is a prize. What do you mean?
Yeah. So Roger, are you sure it's not the cutscene skip?
Yeah, I missed the angle. That should be good.
Yeah, it should be good.
So this skip that Roger did is a quick, is there a name for it? Did we establish if there's a name for it?
There is one. I'm sure someone in the chat will know. There's a lot of Death's Door knowers. It basically skips the entire puzzle by lighting a fire on one side.
It's a pretty precise angle.
Yep. This is a new enemy. This is a Lickitung. It has 2 attacks. It either will do a spit attack or a slam. We wanted to do spit attacks because we can use the reflect to double the damage. And it's just 50-50 on what it does every single time. So we'll see how lucky Roger is over the course of this section.
He got all of his bad RNG out earlier, hopefully.
Really, yeah.
That's what the practice runs were for.
Yeah. So you'll notice that Roger's doing a lot of quit outs. The nice thing about quit outs in this game is, like, obviously it takes you back to a door, like your most recently used door, and it also gives you a full heal. So that's useful for if you are running low and would like that health for an upcoming arena or something.
Speaking of upcoming arenas, we've got a pretty spicy one. It's called Big Pot in the community. What Roger's going to do here is he's going to bait the pot into the corner of the staircase he's walking down right now. And he's going to just kind of use it to get free shots in and get a very clean kill. But otherwise, this pot will just bounce around this arena in very random patterns, and you have to kind of pray that you can keep up. But with this base strat, thanks to upper, pretty good.
Shoutouts to Upper Casserole. Something we haven't talked about actually yet is this mechanic of auto aim that the game has. And this is probably the best room to show how auto aim can affect a lot of the RNG in your runs, because there are these enemies everywhere, and auto aim tends to prefer enemies over like environmental objects, like these fire pits that we're trying to light, or that staircase that I'm trying to set on fire with the cobwebs. So this can be an extremely frustrating area to go through because you'll just get bullied.
Many runs have been lost to Imploft solely. We're going to take a safety heal here because we aren't going to save and quit. We're going to go to the next Crow Soul that's coming up across the way.
Our second soul.
Yep.
We're going to meet the kind of boss of this area, which of the urns, also known as Grandma, which obviously is the community name that we've all decided to adopt.
Well, she also is Pothead's grandma. It's the name.
The Urn Witch. She has some like very interesting lore behind her, in that the reason Pothead has a pot for a head is because Grandma thinks that by turning his pot into a head that he'll become immortal. And yeah, it's kind of messed up.
And she's also got some funny interactions with our boss. Obviously we skipped through all the dialogue, but there are mentions, and if you do a casual playthrough of her wondering if a deal has fallen through and that's why you're here and stuff like that. You'll notice that, because of the crow's souls that you're collecting, like obviously they're there for a reason. And there's like diary entries and stuff that you can pick up where they explain eventually and form this sort of picture that, unfortunately the doors to these particular areas have been closed. And so obviously as you're unlocking the doors, you're reestablishing the route to the commission headquarters. But these are crows that have been locked away and trapped in these various areas. Quite sad.
When we talk to them, we're actually freeing their spirits. A little morbid, but we're helping them out.
Yeah. As we come up to the... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
We're coming up on the last crow. In this last area, you're going to... There's a pretty precise way of grabbing this particular key pot. And obviously you see Roger pull off the trick perfectly with this lure. But you can, as we found out recently, go too far to the left and end up throwing the pot off. Or you don't go far left enough and the pot doesn't... I don't know. There are a couple of different ways where it can go wrong. So we used to think, a couple of beginner runners, as we were learning the run, thought it was RNG and then found out that it was not. So
a lot of precision in this run. Speaking of which, there's going to be a very precise roll here. Roger's gonna
The game
gonna
ain't my
get
roll.
on the second try. I have full faith. That'll skip the entire puzzle. Normally, you need to go around. You need to hit the braziers across, but this allows us to kind of get both the cobweb off of the stairs and also light the brazier without running around, and then get to the fourth arena.
Yeah, so speaking of, eaten inputs, this game is very popular. The game does a lot of input eating. So if Roger had a controller overlay up, you'd be able to see how many of his things exactly get eaten. It's hard because a lot of the inputs don't buffer, so.
We've gotten our 4 Crow Souls. We've unlocked the door. We'll get a quick chat with Pothead, and then we'll get to see what the prize is. Do you have any guesses?
Prize.
I hope it's something good.
Maybe it's cake.
I don't know, man. The cake's usually a lie.
Yeah, what did Portal teach you about that?
While we're heading up to this cutscene, to keep an eye on Crow. This is kind of the theme of every single section. We'll do this a few times, and Crow's mannerisms change a bit as we get up to this chest that's right here.
It looks good to me,
Oh,
dude.
cool.
Like,
Treasure.
I want whatever's in there, for sure. Didn't even need a key to open it, which is crazy. Oh. Well. Who would have thunk, dude?
Yeah. As it turns out, it actually pops us into what are called avarices, which are kind of tough end game or ends of section arenas. They're 4 waves of increasingly difficult enemies that kind of get all the enemies previously in the section. So a lot of it, again, like the other sections, they're consistent spawns, but they're just way more enemies. So you have to make sure that you're reacting to every single one.
Yeah, so Avarice and the particular chest actually are references to, is it Titan Souls, right? I haven't actually personally played it, but, and
The track
you said the
also
music
comes
is
from-
also?
Yeah. So the banger that you're hearing right now is also from Titan Souls. Shout outs to David Fenn, who did the music for both Titan Souls and Death's Door.
Honestly, all of the music in this game is so good. It's one of my favorite OSTs of all time. And Roger doesn't even turn off the music for the run. So,
Yeah, that never happens.
I feel like that's rare for speedruns. GG.
GG.
Yeah, I took a couple of unfortunate trades there, but I'm not super worried about the health.
So now we defeated the avarice, it'll actually give us our prize to get this crow spirit. And so up until this point, we've only had the arrow spell. It'll introduce us to a new spell of fire, which allows us to kind of do some of the puzzles that we couldn't do before by generating our own fire. It also allows us to hit enemies for 1 damage and will pierce enemies. So we use it a few times in the run to do a bit more damage.
Woohoo! And similar to the arrows, well, the flame spell only uses 1 pip.
Yep.
We're going to collect a bit more soul. We're actually not going to do the last part of the first section. Now that we have the fire spell, it's unlocked the second section because that's all you need to get to it. And we're kind of beelining through to a specific... We want a specific spell later on in the game. I won't spoil what it is, but it's pretty good. So we're just going to make our way over to the second section instead, and we're going to collect a couple souls on the way and meet a fan favorite character who is affectionately called Leg Day.
We'll see why.
Coming up is going
One
to be
other... Yeah, go
I
ahead.
was going to say, yeah, we're doing an off-screen fire pit light here, and that saves about maybe 4.5 seconds. But this will call the gondola, which Leg Day operates. Oh my God, there he is! Glorious.
Gotta give bird spins for Leg Day.
Yeah. So yeah, Leg Day is going to bring us to the next area before the next dungeon. And you can see his face on the station right there. He's upside down. He's smiling.
Oh, I actually never noticed that.
I wonder if I can pan the camera so we can get that again right there.
Ooh, nice. So now we're entering our second section, and this is obviously, a similar introduction to Estate, where we have this pretty maze-like area go through, and you see these little NPCs on the side, little horns, and there's going to be a village that we end up skipping past in a little bit, but our main goal in the beginning of this area is to skipping the talk with the village, find the horn that the mother of the village is looking for.
We're kind of introduced to the new mechanic for this area, which is these bomb plants. If you hit a bomb plant, it will spawn a bomb. It does a ton of damage and will basically one-shot every enemy. So every chance we get, we'll use these bomb plants to both do the puzzles, but also hit enemies.
In a second here, we'll see a good usage of the game's geometry where you're just going to roll around. It uses, I don't know if that's exactly a Caillou frame, but this upcoming trick that we're going to see uses something called Coyote frames. For those who aren't familiar with it, it's basically when you are slightly off, when your character is slightly off of a wall, but you're still technically on that same level. Like the hitbox keeps you at that. And so Roger used that just now to, well, it makes that particular roll easier.
Yeah, if the game doesn't eat your roll right as you're at the ledge.
It is a much more difficult trick than it looks. It's very precise, so getting it in 2 tries is really good.
More arenas.
Yeah, we get, I believe, a new enemy in this. These fire plants that spawn little fire projectiles that we can project or reflect back. Otherwise, it's just another standard arena.
Something else to note is that, as we enter a new area, the grunts are, there are still grunts, but they're a little bit different. They have a little bit more health, and they get a new move. So you'll see that in this particular one, they get these big jumps. And so if you're further away from them, then they'll do this like jump ground stomp thing at you. It's kind of annoying.
It's okay, we can use that to our advantage in the upcoming arena.
They're also, you can stun them out of it with a heavy. Most enemies can be stunned by heavy attacks, which is very nice for us. So might see that come up in a couple of combats soon. But we are coming up on a fan favorite combat. This is one that features 3 bomb plants. And we've set it up in such a way that we use these bomb plants to basically destroy every enemy without really having to attack too much. Everyone really loves this one because it kind of lets you just have a bit of fun with the bomb plant. As long as you don't die.
I'm not gonna die, don't worry. But I will need to focus. A tiny bit. We're good.
Nice.
Literally. That's
Let's go. Oh, watch that bomb.
Yep.
Keeping you on your toes.
Yeah.
Spicy. And now we're gonna collect the saxophone. Something that we didn't go over earlier, but you'll see that that Roger did a slash there. There's a little button mash order thing that you can do, sequence that you can do. So on any first pickup, so that includes soul orbs, seeds, and that saxophone, you can skip out of the dialogue by doing that particular sequence. And saxophone's in the chat. It's spelled S-A-X-O, not S-A-X-A, which I only found out recently, actually.
It's crazy. What? All right, so through forest magic, playing the saxophone opens up the dungeon, those tentacles that we just saw retract. This is where our next dungeon is. And we're about to meet I'd say a fan favorite character, the Frog King, not his full title. And similar to Grandma, he's just kind of like gonna give us little bits of dialogue as we go through the dungeon.
For that, we'll grab one more upgrade. That'll get us from 2 to 3. It makes some of these combat breakpoints a little easier, just to kind of make the combat as smooth as possible.
Right, so as we move into the dungeon area, we'll see a very similar order of trying to get the 4 crow souls. There's a safety door that Roger can pick up here, but doesn't need to because he's just that good. Maybe, what? Do you think it'll be jinxed? It's okay, you're good enough that I can't jinx it.
If I die, I may blame you.
Okay,
just
well,
kidding.
just
We're not
don't
gonna
die.
die. We're gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine.
Yeah, for sure. Here's another little exploitation of geometry. Picking up the soul and then entering our first arena.
Yeah, we're introduced to a couple new enemies here. These spiders, they have a 50-50 chance every time you attack them to dodge. So we're hoping that we win the coin flips. And we're also going to get introduced to they're small little crawly enemies. We call them cowards because of the way they interact. They hide unless they think you're not watching them, at which point they will shoot a projectile at you. So kind of new enemies for this area that we have to deal with.
Nice arena. And then we get our first crow soul.
Yeah, optimally, you'd want to reflect back the fireballs that the cowards spit out. But as you kind of saw, maybe if you were paying attention to the one that was on the left, auto aim does not like to give you that every time.
We're gonna do a quick skip here. Normally, once you use the bomb plant for the wall, but we just kind of run quickly to hit both of those fires. We're gonna use the key we got to get to the second arena over here.
In Arena 2, we see the Hammer Bros. Because he has a hammer. There's a very specific attack sequence or damage cycle that you can do for them. You gotta break the shield first, and then there's enough time to do 2 lights, and then roll.
Rude.
But there is the 4th arena, I guess, in this area is. Oh wow, that was close. Oh my God.
Not even close, actually.
I'm
You're
not
right,
worried.
not even close. Not even close.
This is why we grabbed the extra seed, so we can have some free heals and keep this safe.
It's okay.
I
Roger's
gotta
a
keep you
gamer.
guys on your toes, right?
Yeah, for sure. Gotta make
It's
it
more
exciting.
content.
It's boring if I just breeze through every arena, right?
So you notice that in this particular crow soul pickup dungeon, I guess, we aren't doing any saving quits, and that's because everything is pretty close together.
Yeah, this area is pretty linear.
Mostly just the same sets of enemies. One other thing to mention about the Hammer Bros is that the way their shield works is anything that is attacked on the front will just get blocked by the shield. You can pierce through it, something like the fire will hit it, or bombs, which we'll get to in a little bit. Sorry to spoil that. But other than that, any attack we have will just kind of get blocked.
There's a nice last heavy there. Sometimes the spider can get blocked by the geometry, but can still attack you through the wall. It's really annoying.
Yeah, the way your hitbox interacts with walls in this game is actually really interesting, in a really bad way. So enemies can kind of hit you through walls, but you cannot hit them. And if you damage like a damageable object on the other side of a wall, you take damage, even if there is no hitbox.
Go through another fire puzzles. That'll take us to our next arena. Either way, whether or not you open the safety door at the beginning, you can open up a shortcut that takes you back to the beginning of the dungeon, because this next arena is particularly difficult.
Yeah.
So.
This is definitely a beginner's least favorite dungeon because you get, as a final wave of this, 3 different Hammer Bros.
Yeah, TFT, do you want to explain Pool Party for a second?
Yeah, we're not going to do it in this run, but there is a fun strat that you can do in this arena where the hammer bros can be manipulated in a way where they will just walk into the water. You have to be at a specific spot to kind of bait them into it, but unfortunately, that isn't the faster route. What is faster is just taking them out one by one, as Roger's doing here.
Cool.
A very clean arena.
Hey, pretty nice.
Yeah,
That's a good arena.
I delayed one of my slashes a little bit because but that's why I took a damage. But yeah, it's really cool to get to run this game because every arena is basically just a small optimization puzzle. So if you like that kind of like problem solving, this is kind of the game for you.
We'll see another little easy soul pickup there to go over. Fine. I think the intention is for you to go around, right?
Yeah, you're supposed to hit a bombable wall here, down left there. But yeah, we don't need to do that because we can just, for some reason, roll over that line that's supposed to block us.
As you run this game, you learn very quickly that all walls are fake.
Yeah, most walls.
Most walls. Yeah, we're making our way up.
Our second episode.
Yeah. Pay attention to the crow animations here. Or he was mostly just like, what's this? And now he's like on guard, like, what's gonna happen? It's gonna happen again. Oh! Yeah, now we're going into our second Everest. Because we're doing the game kind of maybe a little bit out of order, or at least not what the game expects you to be doing, we're gonna see a couple of these enemies here, which, we haven't run into casually yet. Which is these, like oil sludge guys.
Yeah, they split into more as you defeat them. The bigger ones spawn more. And we get the heavy archer there, which they attack very rapidly and they're actually incredibly dangerous. So take them as fast as possible.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can get chain hit by them.
And finally, the mortar enemy we just saw, which we will see when we get back to it later. That kind of just shoots green mortar shots at us from far and then slams the mortar at us when we're close.
And the poison wizard, right? Wizards.
That's the...
Yeah.
My heavy button's stuck there, so I involuntarily did a full charge for that heavy, which is why I got hit.
Still didn't die. Wasn't worried.
Yeah, we're fine.
As I spoiled earlier, the second spell we're going to get here is the bomb. It uses 2 magic pips, and it has kind of a larger wind-up time, so we're not going to use it as much as arrows or fire in combats. There are a couple places where it's useful, but it's mostly used to break the bomb walls that we've kind of been seeing across. You can see 1 or 2 of them here as Roger breaks them.
Yeah, we don't have to rely on the bomb flowers anymore.
So as we
go ahead. Sorry.
As we go back out of the Everest here, we're going to go back into the main hub, but pick up some souls on the way. Roger's got to make sure that he has enough pips for the upcoming stuff because there isn't a ton of pip-able, pip-grabbable things. And there's a fire here, and then another fire, and then a bomb coming up. There is actually a hittable pole right here, as Roger is demonstrating, where he will fill up. And then we go back for this is the 3rd upgrade, I believe.
4th.
Yep.
Well,
third upgrade up to strength 4.
Wave. Yeah.
Not confusing at all.
For sure.
Yeah. Fun fact.
And much like... Okay.
Yeah, no.
You can do your fun fact. No.
Yeah, fun fact. In version 1.0 of this game, the last boss fight happens in the Reaping Commission, and that lamppost that we refilled our pips on is still able to refill your pips, even in that version of the room. So if you were to die to the final boss, what you'd be able to do is, because you would get respawned there, is you can shoot spells at the final boss off screen the entire time, and then go refill pips on the lamppost and cheese the boss that way. Unfortunately, they removed the ability for you to get pips in that specific version of the room after that release. So that's forbidden tech.
We have some runners of 1.0, but they're very, very few. Most people run latest paths instead.
So we just passed a little, I guess voluntary is not the right word, non-required arena right there. And that is one of the upgrades for one of the spells. And unfortunately, we don't get any spell upgrades in this because it takes too much time. It's out of the way, even though there are quick kills for those arenas. So we'll just have everything in base.
We passed that to make our way through to kind of third section. Much like the last time, we're skipping the end part of that second section to get to this third one, to get the last spell that we want. And we're heading into Castle Lockstone.
The NPC that we talked to just then is named Barb. She is canonically a trans character. She's in development. She used to be called Brad. We're talking to her again here. And I think this gives us like a nice segue to talk about how both Mando and I got into the game. Do you want to explain?
Yeah, so actually Quack was in chat earlier. Quack, if you want to say hello. But she was running a Pride Month bounty for the trans lifeline. I can't remember what the exact specifics were, but essentially the idea was she was going to donate for every submitted and verified PB, I guess, in any category for Death's Door. And there were a couple people participating in this, but Death's Door was like one of the games that I really wanted to learn how to run and had been wanting to learn for a while. And Roger, I think, had shown interest in it as well. And so we ended up learning it at a similar time, as well as like a couple of other people. But yeah, it was a really, really good opportunity. So shout out to Quack for providing that for us. And it was really fun. I think I personally ended up getting like 11 PBs. But, you know, I also started at like 3 hours. So I do love this game.
I was limited to maybe 6 PBs because toward the end of the month, I PB'd by like 15 minutes when I had no business saving that much time in a single run. So I thought I was kind of done with the game.
I think tragically I only got 1 during that period.
Well, when you hold world record, I guess.
Yeah, I was trying.
Yeah, it was a really, really good opportunity, so.
Well, that is a perfect segue to let everyone know that you can join the official GDQ Discord and add the Hotfix role where you can keep tabs on upcoming events, not unlike the one we just heard about, talk with staff, and more. So use !Discord in Twitch chat for more information. And a couple of people have asked about the schedule and what's going on, so you can always go to gamesdonequick.com/hotfix to check out our Season 4 schedule and check out the schedule in depth. We post it each week to let you know what's coming on for the whole week. This is only Monday. We have great content all throughout the week, so definitely take a chance to, or take an opportunity to check that out. And we're back in another fight room where everything is lining up really cool, so I'll send it back over to you all.
Yeah, so as TFT mentioned earlier, we are going to end up using the bomb spell in not this wave, but the last wave in this particular arena. And the reason for that is, and we see the gold hammer bro. This particular, the bomb spell is particularly useful for the hammer bros because any sword hits or other weapon the damage gets really absorbed by the shield, even if there's like extra. And so the bomb has that splash damage that's really helpful.
Something that we kind of skipped over was, before doing this arena, I went off to the lower left there to light a fire pit. And that lit one of the torches in this main hub room here, which I can't pan down the camera to see, but we'll pass it. And basically there are 4 torches that we also need to light, in addition to the 4 crow souls that we need to get to unlock that crow door so we can do our next avarice. But the flames are necessary for us to continue into the secondary portion of this dungeon.
And something you'll notice here is that the walls are fake. So Roger just shot an arrow through the wall and again. And you'll see this a lot in some of the puzzles in this area. This particular kind of puzzle comes with a flame, but the flame takes a second to light up. So if you're too quick, you end up potentially getting hit by the flame hitbox. Oh!
If you're even faster, you can get away from it.
I think TFT mentioned at some point to us before as well that happens in Avarice too. So if you're too close to one of the torches that lights up, then you can get hit by that hitbox too.
Turns out, crows don't exactly like fire or touching it. Okay, I was
only using it.
Yeah.
I don't think we talked about it yet. We have a new enemy in the section called Alberts by the community. They kind of just jump around and have these delayed attacks to kind of make it a little more difficult to time your dodges. Obviously, speedrunners, we have timed them pretty well. Roger dodges them pretty well, but for a new casual player, it can be a bit more difficult.
A lot of the enemy design, they tend to have maybe not the weirdest timing, but if you try to greed, 3 light slashes, which is your normal, casual damage cycle, you're going to take damage.
Yeah, this game kind of locks you into your animations a lot, so you have to be very careful about when you're going to do attacks. I mean, even as a speedrunner, that's something that we have to be aware of.
So something to mention there as well is that you saw that Roger picked up the key. You notice that with this particular key and in previous ones as well, it takes a second for the key to load in or for it to actually register that you picked up the key. So if that quit out, you got to make sure that you quit out after the key icon shows up at the top left. Otherwise, it won't actually register that you have the key. And then you have to go back and get it.
We've got one last arena here, but like the other ones, this will unlock the third door for the fourth door. No, it's the third door, fourth crow, for the third spell. Not confusing.
Uh-oh.
You'll see also here the upgraded grunts for this section. Every section has, I think, 1 additional HP, and the new attack that we have here, as kind of Amanda was talking about earlier, is they'll do a charge attack. It's actually a lot harder to kind of tell than you think.
Yeah, normatively, the grunts kind of already have their arms up, and the only telegraph for the charging attack is they will slightly raise their arms a little bit more than usual. So it's not uncommon to just, think that a grunt is just, walking at you, but you end up taking a hit. All right, and that's all for Crow Souls for this area. So we're going to go and we're going to do our third and final Avarice for the run, which is going to give us our last spell.
Again, keep an eye on Crow, as their manners will be a little different this time.
Ooh, shiny.
Do some stretches.
Dives right in. Speaking of diving right in, for this fourth Avarice, there are a couple new enemies that to the run that we'll have seen in other sections. We have this fire witch, and then we also have boomerang enemies that we'll see. The boomerang enemies will throw boomerangs if they're far away and jump towards you if you're close. So kind of manipulating how they're gonna react is the name of the game for those enemies. Other than that, it's a bunch of enemies we've already seen. Yeah, go ahead, Amanda.
We're also gonna have the mace enemy at the very end. This is gonna be the final wave. We'll see. And there's a particular strat that you can do for that guy, which is to hug the left side. And we'll see Roger do that in a second.
I don't know what the official name for it is. We call them Smaugh because they kind of look like a particular Dark Souls enemy, but yeah, like Amanda said, you just kind of hug the corner. The attacks don't ever track all the way to you. You get a free quick kill.
Right. And now, unlike the other Avarices, this one, once we collect the spell, we end up doing a death warp off the side. There is actually you can actually hard lock here, where if you end up doing the same button sequence, or I don't know, I was just mashing at the time, but if you try to mash all the buttons on as you're falling and as you die, you can actually get locked into this area, and then you end up having to go all the way around, which is really annoying. You'll see that Roger will die here.
It just saves us a walk back to the door. If we save and quit, it'll take us back to this chest, which is why we need to do a death warp instead of kind of a save and quit sort of thing. But with that, we got a new spell. It's a hook shot. It's a fan favorite spell. It allows you to hook to nearly everything, but not nearly everything. A lot of different things in the game. It allows you to hook to switches. It allows you to hook to the little anchors we've seen across this area. It allows you to hook to enemies. So we'll be using that a lot to kind of speed up the movement for the rest of the game. And it's kind of why we've been beelining through all the different sections just to get this spell.
As you'll notice, we are staying in Castle Lockstone, so we're actually ending up doing the reverse order for the last part of each of the areas. So we'll end up going through Castle Lockstone here. This third area is the second half of the dungeon where we're lighting the flames and then taking the elevator that is opened by the flames to up to the final walkthrough with more arenas. And then from there, we'll hit the boss.
Yeah, you notice we haven't actually seen the final bosses section unlike the other two. It's kind of shrouded in secrecy as you go through this.
Actually, we haven't spoken about lore for a while.
Yeah, go ahead.
This particular area is actually super lore heavy. If you notice that when we're lighting each of the flames, there's a ghost of a previous Lord of Doors. And so, this story that we're picking up as you go through ends up being painting a picture of the corruption of the current state of the commission, as well as like the corruption specifically of the current Lord of Doors. So, you get the crows that have been locked out, and then the lord that has been ruling for longer than their allotted time, and stuff like that. You guys see here another example of walls being fake. And then Roger previously was doing the puzzle skip, which is just another exploitation of geometry.
Yeah, when we get back to the room, you'll be able to see it. There's little lion heads, and they're actually, like, the geometry again is what you see is what you get, so you can kind of roll on that geometry to go over the wall. They didn't code the wall all the way up. This will take us towards our last fire to light with the elevator. One last kind of slightly difficult platforming here.
Unfortunately, the walls guarding the hookshot targets are actually real, so we can't just skip it completely.
Yeah, we gotta do some platforming in our platformer.
So we just did a quit out there. I think, was it 2 flames that you do the quit out on contact? But then it brings us to this cutscene afterwards. This particular one is 13 seconds, I think.
Yeah, usually we have to watch the elevator spawn in, but because we hit the flame earlier, we already had because we did the quit out, we don't need to watch the cutscene, so we just get to stare at the elevator for 13 seconds, which it's a good forearm stretch break.
Yeah, pick up the soul and head out.
So we're going to be coming up on another fan favorite. This is Arm Day. Let's see if he'll show us. Yup.
Oh!
Big yum.
We call that Arm Day. Yeah, that's kind of the twin to Light Day. And we're kind of in a little lull section. It's called Camp of the Free Crows. You'll see why in a second. But Amanda, if you want to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so, as we've been learning with the lore, the commission has, grown pretty corrupt, and there have been multiple instances of crows getting locked out and not being able to get back in. And so this Camp of the Free Crows is sort of a collection of rebels. Baga, the one that we're going to be talking to right here, was someone that you could interact with at the very beginning, and you'll notice that they're sort of just not really a part of the commission, but was hanging around. I assume to like recruit more crows. There's Barb again, so this camp is like sort of a haven for crows who are looking to get out of the commission's clutches.
So after a quick break there, we're going to our first end game section. This is the Watchtowers. The music here is fantastic. It's one of my favorite soundtracks. But it's kind of a winding, snake-like section where we're using our different platforming tools, and it kind of throws a whole bunch of different types of enemies at us. It's one of the last sections of the game in terms of the main gameplay, so they kind of throw everything at you to try to make it as difficult as possible.
Yeah, it definitely ends with one of the worst arenas in the game, in my own personal opinion.
This arena...
I was going to say 3 guesses.
It's a little notorious.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. This arena is a little notorious because it has this laser. It's one of the new mechanics for this area. What we're going to do is we're going to use these walls to block the laser. If you get hit by them, they can potentially double or even triple hit you, so we're trying to avoid that as much as possible. And we might use it here to get a couple hits on enemies because they will hit enemies as well.
Nice.
I thought I could avoid taking a hit there from the laser, but that didn't exactly pan out the way I wanted.
Could have been worse.
Yeah, for sure.
Pretty good boomerang guy sequence.
Yeah, the enemy spawns right now have been quite good.
So Roger's opening up a shortcut right now that'll allow you to hookshot from the beginning area into this and skip through. Because if you die, then you won't have to go through all that. And then we'll see another, we'll skip here. So Roger's actually been using controller for this run, but you'll notice that like for pothead skip and for this particular one, the prompts will change. Maybe not for this one because they use mouse, but for pothead skip, you'll notice the controls that pop up will change because you use keyboard for a pretty precise like up left direction that the skip requires. So if you're using controller, there are still these instances where you need to use mouse keyboard, but there's
it's fine.
I believe
we're fine.
Like 3 instances of such. So you have the pothead skip, and then you have this particular skip with the hook shot, and then you have a later skip that you can use.
Yeah, and then
Roger's
area.
killing this. Yeah, Roger's killing these mages just to make sure that they don't follow, because they can follow you all the way into the final and hated arena.
Yeah, part of the reason the main reason he was getting the shortcuts is because of this arena. It's the last kind of end game arena, and they make it as difficult as possible. The main thing is they put you in the ice section where you can kind of slip around, and the enemies will also slip around. So if you're not careful, you kind of just slip and slide everywhere. We're going to try our best to avoid that. We have a couple ways to manipulate the enemies to keep them up as much as possible. Other than that, it's just good gameplay and doing as optimal combats as we can. So we'll see how Roger does.
That guy, I was going to fight him, but he got trapped behind the ice, so I wanted to leave him alone because he'll stay there. Otherwise, he would usually come to the edge of the arena and try to hit you with the fire bombs that you saw him throwing.
Yeah. One notable thing here is that we don't actually have to kill all of these enemies. We're going to try to avoid any mishaps, but a couple of these areas, they'll spawn a little earlier because you only need to kill 5 out of 6 or 3 out of 4, things like that.
Oh, is it numbers based? I thought it was like specific enemies you didn't have to kill.
It's a specific number of enemies that you need to kill. And they're not specific ones, just an amount.
Interesting.
Yeah, for this last wave, we're going to try to stay up here. He's going to go to this edge, get a double hit, and try to catch this archer with a hook, keep the hammer bro up. Spectacular job of that to avoid any slipping and sliding from this hammer bro. Very, very clean arena.
Well, and once the hammer bro gets onto the ice, they can't get back up onto those dry areas.
Yeah, we want to avoid that as much as possible.
they do about as much leg workouts as leg day, so they just can't climb stairs, which understandable.
Grabbing the safety door. And then there's a no-hit version of Betty Quick Kill, which we'll see right here. But it involves, I believe it's hook shot, light, roll heavy, charge attack, and then the roll heavy 3 times charge attack. And this prevents us from seeing a particular cycle for this boss where she rolls, where it's very difficult to put any damage on her in those particular cycles.
Luckily for us, she always does the same attack pattern the first time you fight her. So as long as we do that exact pattern, we'll get a very consistent boss fight. And what's normally casually a very difficult boss is an extremely easy boss for us to get through.
Yeah, thankfully nothing went wrong there.
The one random part is those snowballs. So the snowballs can just land on you a couple of times and combo you. It can be pretty bad.
Like we mentioned from the beginning, if you end up dying when the boss is dying, and it doesn't save immediately, and so you could end up having to go back into the boss arena to fight. Yeah. You notice that Roger did a quit out here, and it's just a little bit faster for Betty in particular. The quit out, like you can't actually open main menu until the camera pans all the way back out. But for the next 2, you can. Pretty much right away. So we're gonna get some lore here. This is the Lord of Doors, the corrupt boss that we were talking about before, with the world's best. Is it world's best Lord mug?
Yeah,
I couldn't see it. And they are going to applaud us for doing our job. They haven't quite caught on necessarily onto what we're doing, but I think they're determining that we might be an issue and ruin their plans. You can see the 3 main areas behind those windows behind.
He's just
and Death Doors. Yeah.
We get pulled into that cutscene at the first time we defeat one of the end of section bosses, and it plops us right here, conveniently right next to the second section of the game. So we're gonna head back through ruins towards the later parts of this section.
A little bit more soul collection here. Nice breaking both walls with a single bomb. And then I think, as we mentioned earlier, we're doing this in reverse order. And so with our upgrades, we end up having going from hard to easier in terms of these last couple sections. So, we start with the snow area where everything has a little bit more health and has a couple more moves. As opposed to, this one and the estate, or I guess the grandma's area.
Ceramic Manor.
Furnace.
Ceramic Manor, thank you.
Like so, something.
I was blanking on it, but. And this is where our water burb copy pasta comes into play. Can crows swim? Actually, do we have that available? I think Emmy has that.
Someone's gonna spam it, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
I'll try not to take a dunk here, but no promises.
Yeah.
Some of the platforming is quite slippery, and sometimes you kind of feel like you'll get sucked into the water.
Yeah.
No,
There's a couple. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
A lot of these are kind of weird sizes for your roll distance, so it's very hard to actually get the precise platforming you need.
There we go. Juice got it. There are a couple of exploitations of geometry here, but not a ton, just because it's scary to fall into the water.
Okay, there we go.
There we go. And if you miss that roll, then there's something about the roll doesn't let you do it again immediately. Okay, yeah, there's a cooldown. There's another skip that we can do here. I don't know if Roger's going to do it, but there's a left side. There's a left side and a right side to this gate where you can just roll around it. The left side is a lot more risky because you can end up going into the water. It skips those enemies spawns, but I don't think it saves too much time.
Especially because you can hookshot the enemies to, make up a lot of the distance. So, not huge.
Had a nice small Star Trek reference with the red shirt there. Again, the clever naming from the developers here.
You open the safety door, shot that guy, and we're heading it into the next section. This is the equivalent of the watchtowers right here.
Yeah, we're gonna try to skip as much of this section as possible, which thankfully, because we've come back with the hookshot, we're able to do. So we can bait this guy over here and then hookshot to him to skip a little bit of the section. And this is why I don't like bombs, dude. The bombs take, it's like almost 2 full seconds to charge, and if you let it go a little bit early, you just won't get it.
Yeah, the animation's also a little inconsistent on it, so you can think you have it because you're like, oh, the animation's done, and then it's not. So it's a little finicky.
You notice that Roger will, maybe won't kill those mages. Can you leave them behind?
No, they'll follow.
They will follow you.
Okay. Yeah, so those guys end up following. Oh, arrow.
Fine.
We have one last trick here.
With the mouse.
We can use a mouse shot to hit that button early and skip kind of another third of this section. So we kind of skip 2/3 of this entire area to get to this last combat. This last combat is interesting because it's actually only 2 waves. So as long as he kills these fast enough and gets to the spawns, you can pretty much do this without losing any time. Other than that, it's kind of just a basic end section arena. There is the pot that he's going to take for a safety heal, which is a good call. Other than that, just standard arena kind of.
I would say this is probably my second least favorite behind Ice Arena.
Yeah,
if you don't kill the mages. If you don't kill the mages, there's so many projectiles going around.
I had really favorable mage spawns at the beginning of the arena, so they weren't really a problem. Taking a hit to the boomerang was a bit of an issue. So my usual damage cycle was kind of thrown off there, but it's fine. Made it work.
All right, guys. You ready?
We've been...
Oh, there's dialogue first. One sec.
So I said earlier that...
King of the Swamp. Guardian of the flooded fortress, lord of his domain, ruler of all he surveys, champion of the people, keeper of the 5 oaths, first of his name, second of his other name, he who is without middle initial or mercy, destroyer of all those who would question his rightful role or look at him askance, eater of the vanquished, devourer of the indolent, guzzler of the non-committal, bestower of wrathful opprobrium, and fount of most wondrous beneficence. All glory to him and his mace, holy basher of toads, not frogs, but really, what are toads anyway? Like worse frogs, right? Uglier too. Smartest creature in all the land, like really clever like that Einstein guy, but more handsome and, okay, hit the word count. All right, PFT, you want to explain the fight?
Yeah, this is Frog King. So we kind of had an initial section where he will hop around. We have to hit behind him. Roger baited in a particular spot so that we could hit behind. We have 2 other phases to this fight. The one that we're seeing right now, where he kind of sucks in parts of the platforms. We use a bomb, kind of like the Dongo, to stun him so he gets some combos in, and then on the other side you'll throw a whole bunch of projectiles at random tiles. Actually tiles that are closest to Crow. So what we're going to do is we're going to be on this platform and kind of dodge all the attacks as they come. When he hops over, he'll move to the side here and get a few attacks and finish off before he even gets to the other side. Nice. Let's go.
So similar to Betty, we can see that there's going to be a quit out right after this little Stedhone eulogy that goes on. And there's not going to be a Lord of Doors interim in this particular one.
Yeah, we're just going to go back through the door.
I couldn't tell you earlier because of that amazing name reading, but there is a Go Roger Go chant in Twitch chat for you right now.
Thank you, chatters. Really appreciate it. Shoutouts to the Death Star community. Extremely welcoming, so if you want to try to get into this run, highly recommend it.
It's so fun, too. What a great game.
Community. Great game. So we picked up a couple upgrades. We finished the last of the strength to get to the 2 damage. And we also picked up a dex, which will make us attack a little faster. It allows us to get specific kind of damage breakpoints in the fight so that we can skip a couple phases, which we'll see when we get to the last sections of the game. But right now we're in the furnace area, which is the last section of the first part of the game, which we skipped at the very beginning.
Going back through this area with hookshot makes it quite fast, which is why we delay this.
We need a neat swag strat here where we shoot this bullhead a couple of times to move it and hook to it. One of the small pieces of tech that we can use the hook shot here.
And oh my god, Pothead!
Yeah, he's in that vat. You missed it. I can't pan the camera, sorry. But yeah, apparently Grandma has kidnapped Pothead. Because she has, found out about our meddling. And yeah, we're about to see her again.
Yeah. We're gonna do a quick piece of tech here. Normally you have to, when you light that furnace, wait for the door. But we do that door animation while we do this cutscene to save kind of 7-8 seconds to get them both done at the same time. Nice small piece of tech.
Now we need to venture further into the inner furnace. And yeah, we're gonna go and try and save Pothead.
Something that should be mentioned is that Inner Furnace has a really, really cool kind of thing where they sync up the music to the movement of these platforms. You can hear the beat, and it's really helpful, especially if you're looking for audio cues for things.
When you screen transition, the pistons will time themselves to the music, so we can actually use those to even manipulate some of the platforming. A lot of this is cycle based, and we're trying to make specific cycles. You'll see when we finish the last set of enemies here, that piston will start to the music. So things like that, we're trying to be attentive to as much as possible.
Oh, okay. I don't know what happened
Wild.
there. My roll didn't happen?
The primary kind of loop here is we're lighting these furnaces to unlock different parts of the section with the pistons. It kind of loops us back to the middle, which is a nice safety. You'll see this is where we started. We'll loop back here one more time after the second area. Unfortunately, there is no way in Restrict to skip all of this, so we're just gonna go the long way.
It's fine. It lets us see more of the game.
For sure, for sure.
That's definitely the goal as a speedrunner, right?
Zero skips as a speedrunner.
Got some nice hook shots right there to exploit the exploding pots.
Take this cycle out, unfortunately.
These next couple sections, you'll see how useful the hookshot is, kind of skipping the cycles. There's a lot of different enemies. They move randomly, so we kind of adapt to that with our hooks. But also there's a couple of static spawns, like the purple pot up here, that we can use to kind of zoom through this platforming very quickly.
Oh, don't fall. Okay.
Oh, wow.
We're fine.
Totally. Incoming, we have a couple of this furnace. I don't know if I would call it a puzzle, but like a little sequence thing. You just got to make sure that you time your fireballs to make sure that you don't hit the pistons that are coming up. Make sure you get those pips. One thing to note here is that you don't get pips from a plunge attack. So in this next room that we're going to go into, there are a couple of places where you can go down and do a plunge against enemies, and does not give you that ammo you may be expecting.
So yeah, kind of being very precise with your shots is very important, and had a very clean movement through to get to the final boss that we're doing to get our last giant soul.
I'm gonna take it safe here. I want full HP for this fight. Just safety.
We're coming up on which of the urns. The hookshot is incredibly useful here. You'll see Roger use the hookshot to kind of teleport across the map to follow the witch, who will jump across the arena. She's very hittable kind of during her animations popping in and out. So what you'll see is a lot of last second hits or initial hits to get as much damage in as possible in this first phase here, where she's just throwing pots around and jumping around.
It's also got a banger track.
Yeah, great track. We want to dodge these purple pots, and we can use these green pot projectiles to deflect in, like that.
Nice.
Perfect. And with one more jump, she'll go into a second phase where she'll start hopping mad, pun intended. And then afterward, she'll kind of spin around with projectiles. Hopefully we won't see that last part.
Whoa.
Because of all these deflects.
Wait, does that always happen?
No. It does if she's low enough health.
It should always happen, if you're if you're fast.
Dang, that was pretty clean. TFT, did you talk about? Sorry, I think I might have missed it. Did you talk about fire hot pot?
I did not.
Yeah, there's a special interaction where when she goes to do the hack that we didn't get to see, we couldn't finish the boss. But you can use a fire spell and aim that into the pot that she spins around in, and it'll light her hair on fire.
Yeah, it's actually an entire run category.
It's true.
We have a lot of great meme categories in the community that a nice solid set of runners have worked on.
If we have hot pot percent, why don't we have meal for a king percent?
What would that be? I have to know.
So hot pot is the achievement that you get for lighting grandma's hair on fire. Feeding Frog King a bomb is also an achievement. So
you should start the category, Roger.
That sounds like a job
your
for
own category.
That sounds like a job for someone else, maybe.
So we're heading back to the main death store because at this point we've now collected our 3 boss souls, and let's see what happens. This is a great spot for a pee break for any runners because this is a fairly long run. I know it's not comparable to some other categories, but an hour and a half is decently long, and so you can put the dialogue skipper on here and run to the bathroom really quick, grab a snack, whatever you need to do. And from here, it's like 2 minutes, I think?
Yeah, 2-minute cutscene. Mando, do you want to go into the lore of what we're about to see?
Yeah, so we're breaking open Death's Door here. Oh my gosh, wow. And we're going to walk in. So Grey Crow is kind of a little nervous about what's happening. We're like, oh my gosh, we're going to be figuring out what's on the other side. Maybe your assigned soul is there, and there's nothing. Whoa, white expanse, and where is everything? We got this dialogue that we're skipping through, and we see someone. That someone is going to give us a little wave and have their title card pop up. Wow, it's Death. So we're going to go through, and Death gives us a little bit more background on what's going on. They talk about, how they used to do all the work, and then they ended up striking a deal with the Lord of Doors, not the current Lord of Doors, but they talk about sort of how the commission is set up and, how all of everything happens. So Death was working with the Lord of Doors until the current Lord of Doors, where the current Lord of Doors ended up locking Death into this area and cut off all the ability for anything in this area to die. So, these big boss monsters that we were fighting were all things that couldn't die because Death was locked away. And now Grey Crow is going a little crazy just because they're like, oh my god, where's my soul? And they're coming to this realization. So, and now we have a boss fight.
We got Grey Crow here. Likes to run at you, and he likes to jump around. Kind of when you hit him, he spawns these little murderling projectiles. They'll follow you around. We can use that to our advantage because we can reflect them back in. And if we stagger the reflect, it can actually do multiple hits at the same time. So we're going to try our best to get those deflects in while also hitting the boss through these different attacks. This attack has a 1 in 5 chance of happening, so very, very nice luck. It spawns that, which we can easily take care of.
Oh, no
Otherwise,
way.
it's just dodging through.
How did that hit you through the iframe? Oh.
Good question. Oh, I died. Oh, I didn't.
No.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, we're safe.
Oh, GG.
Not even close.
Not even close. I thought I died for real there. I was like, that was a bad hook shot, man.
Dang. You can do an early quit out right there after you kill Grey Crow. And then you've got this little conversation going on where Death's like, maybe you should go back, figure out what's happening with the commission. And then we see the Camp of Free Crows runners, or organizers, I guess, giving this little speech here.
Yeah, we'll see a nice little piece of tech after this. There's a cutscene with the door. If we're fast enough and we roll to our upgrade guy, we can get this upgrade in during that animation and save a little bit of time doing both.
There's a quit out here to a fast door, but you cannot do the walk into the fast door. You'll end up just getting locked into the other side. So that's why you got to do the heavy here. Although Roger's more partial to the heavies anyway.
True. It's a nice soft lock if you miss it.
Yeah. And now, hit this little conversation with Lord of Doors, who's saying that basically, like, they thought that they would be able to get away with it. Like, you know, I guess it's a moral quandary, but, you know, I don't want to die, so. Then we end up in this fight right here.
Yeah, this is the gauntlet section. We're going to see kind of a few times we'll fight Lord of Doors. After each of these fights, there's going to be a platforming section. You saw those bull kind of running enemies. We have to dodge through those. Mostly we're just trying to run past them in the speed run. And each time we get to one section, there'll be a door that we'll go through to get to a boss fight. He'll use the different mechanics of the different bosses we've seen. So for the first one, it'll be the Witch of the Urns kind of projectile attack. The second one will be the Frog King jump, and then the third one will be the Betty roll. We can't do it for this other than going up on the platform, but for after each fight here, when he spawns the door, if we're in the right position, we don't have to wait for the door animation. We'll just get teleported to the next section. So you'll see in a second, when he snaps, he's going to move to the right spot and get a free teleport to the next section.
Nice fast door.
So that's mostly what we're going to be seeing here. It's a lot of just precise platforming and timing as much of our damage as possible to get through those combats as fast as we can.
At this little parkour area, the falling platforms are particularly annoying, and we'll see a lot more of those in the upcoming gauntlet area sections.
The nice thing about this is it kind of we'll have a boss fight after this, and it kind of builds all of the mechanics in so you see them before you get to the boss fight. It's a really neat piece of game design from the developers, and it's a really, really cool mechanic to see.
Nice platforming.
Yeah.
So it's 5 sets of 3 lights that you have to do to get the
I didn't know where he was going to land.
To trigger the door open. But with the last one, the Betty Arena, it's particularly difficult. I think TFT said there's like a specific setup that you can do. But you cannot just do the normal like 5 sets of 3 because you're not fast enough to get all of those on before the first roll happens.
Yeah, you have to use a specific, like you have to heavy attack during one of the hits. It's pretty complicated, so taking the roll isn't that big of a deal. But we're making our way. Yep.
We're back to the commission.
We're coming up on the final boss of the game. Time is going to be on the last hit of this boss. We'll call it out after it happens.
Yeah. There is a very small chance of it not happening. We're going to ignore that. It doesn't exist. It won't just randomly clap. This boss, like Betty, the first time you do it is exactly the same. It kind of cycles through all the different abilities that we saw during the gauntlet. He'll do kind of the attack combos, and then he'll do each of the different boss abilities. So what we're going to see Roger do here is go through each one. And he's going to try to position himself behind the boss because it triggers a backslash attack between each of those attacks. So you'll see the backslash here. He's going to dodge through to try to get him at every single time as much as he can, just to sneak in some extra damage before we get to the next phase of the fight, which is more random. So we got our Frog King hops here, and then we'll be coming up on, I don't think we have the Betty roll. I think that's random later. we get our Guardian of the Door laser, which again we can roll through. And from here on, it's kind of random, and Roger's just going to react to what he can get. We might see a clap attack. He'll kind of do a big bomb. If that's the case, then we can either iframe through it or dodge out of the way.
I don't think. Yep, time.
GG.
Did not even get it. GG.
GG.
It's like, I don't think we're going to see it, dude.
That was a pretty good run.
All right. And that's the store. Yeah. Do I want to keep the cutscene going, or?
Yeah, definitely. Leave the cutscene going, but feel free to tell all the wonderful people out there where they can find more about you, where they can, kind of hang out with you if you stream or anything. If you have any shout outs, want to talk about the community, now's your chance. Let us know.
Yeah. So yeah, you can, if you want to see more Death's Door runs, I stream over at twitch.tv/velociroger. I highly recommend giving this game a shot. At least, if you only play it casually, that's fine. The speedrunning community would love to have you. The speedrunning community is run out of the official Death's Door Discord. So if you go and join that, we would be, happy to have you. I'll pass it over to Mando and TFT if you guys want to, tell people where to find you and your content.
Hold on. Wait, before that, can you tell us what the loadless time is?
It was loadless. The RTA was about 125.
Yeah, Roger, did you have light split up?
Yeah, give me a second. Loadless, it was a 123.07.
Whew, pretty good.
Solid.
Pretty good. Yeah. I also stream. I was doing Death's Door runs to prepare for this commentary because I was taking a bit of a break from the run. But I think I want to keep going until I PB. I am not as good as Roger, but you can find me over also on Twitch, twitch.tv /MandoSRB. Sorry, I changed my name recently, so it's a little bit of a recollection issue. But yeah, TFT.
Yeah, I don't stream as often, but I do occasionally stream over at its_TFT. Mostly Death's Door, occasionally the some other games, but mostly Death's Door. But I will take my time more to talk about the store community again because this game's been out for a decent amount of time now. We've had a lot of runners come in and out, and it's a great game. There's a lot of people who absolutely love this game and would love to see more runners and would love to just interact with people. So if you have any passing interest in doing the run, again, check out the Discord and come say hi.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for showcasing that. That was an amazing run. That is it for us here at Perilous Paths. We will be back in a couple of weeks, but I do want to take a quick moment to say thank you to all of the amazing runners that we had, our commentators. I believe all 3 runs had commentators, so thank you so much to all of them. And of course, my production partner, Ray, for all of the amazing work they do behind the scenes. But I saved one announcement for the end, which is if you'd like to support GDQ Hotfix, you can check out the 2024 Season 4 shirt at the Yeti, yetee.com/GDQ. Now, the reason I saved this for the end is mine, hopefully you can see this. Let me check OBS. Mine showed up during the run. So it features all of your favorite shows on GDQ Hotfix right there. If you can see, that is... Hopefully my camera will focus, but if not, that's Perilous Paths. So welcome to Cutie's Unboxing, but that's all I'll say. But stick around, Hotfix is not over, not even by a long shot. We still have Hidden Heroes, which is the show right above mine, right up there. Hidden Heroes coming up, hosted by Anarchy right after the break. So stick around and stay tuned for that. But that's it for us. Wherever you are, whenever you are, I hope you are having a wonderful rest of your week. Take care, and we'll see you back here in a couple of weeks.